Hey there, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Pastatime with the Scaryish Podcast. It's still taking me a little bit to get used to, but I'm Robin Grace, this is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And today we're here to read you folks some pastas. Some creepy pastas. What?
Just like
He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Slow rollout for that intro. But yeah, we're going to be reading some creepy pastas today. Pretty excited to do it. We're going to be covering 4 of them. We don't have a user submitted one this week, which is fine. We had one that was in the queue, and I reached out to the person and said, hey, I just want to confirm this is a creepy pasta, right? And they're like, no, this 100% happened. So I was like, oh shit, moving it back to story time. So you'll see that one next week, which will be fun. I'm going to be reading Ghost Train and Please Stay Awake tonight. So Robin, what are you going to be covering?
I'm going to be, well, I'm not covering it, but I'm going to be reading.
Thank you for correcting me.
I'm going to be reading The Rake and Smile Dog.
Smile Dog looks terrifying. When she sent me Smile Dog, there was a picture behind it, and I was just like, what the fuck is this demon? It is haunting and terrifying. So, fun stuff. I'm not sure which one of us is going to be going first.
I'm pretty sure I'm going first, but I need the mouse.
Can you not? Okay. Let me just go ahead and break character really fast. I can't edit that. So, if you can, like, say it again after the fact and just be like, I'll be going first. Also, I'm drinking Leinenkugels tonight. Hooray. Shout out to all the folks who are just subscribing and all that stuff. We're going to read those after the first story. So we'll let Robin jump into her story.
All right. Cool. Alrighty. So the first one I'm going to read is going to be...
When you keep highlighting that window, I can't mark Reaper.
Oh, all right.
So you can still scroll without highlighting it.
Okay, so I'm going to be reading Smile Dog, and it does have a terrifying picture to it. At least to me, I love animals, but this dog is creepy. It's like a dog with human teeth. It's terrifying. All right, so it goes. I first met in person with Mary E. in the summer of 2007. Y'all knew 2007, right?
Wow.
Oh, it's when
I'm not covering this.
Oh,
that would have been hilarious if you tossed that in there.
Yeah. I graduated in 2007, so I'm here for this. All right.
I graduated in 2003, so I'm old as fuck.
I had arranged with her husband of 15 years, Terrence, to see her for an interview. Mary had initially agreed, since I was not a newsman, but rather an amateur writer gathering information for a few early college assignments, and, if all went according to plan, some pieces of fiction. Fuck.
It's okay. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
We scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated business, but at the last moment, Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the couple's bedroom, refusing to meet with me. I read that totally wrong. I'm just going to reread it. We scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated business, but at the last moment, Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the couple's bedroom, refusing to meet with me. For half an hour, I sat with Terrence as we camped outside the bedroom door, I listening and taking notes while he attempted fruitlessly to calm his wife. The things Mary said made little sense but fit with the pattern I was expecting. Though I could not see her, I could tell from her voice that she was crying, and more often than not, her objections were speaking with me, centered around an incoherent diatribe on her dreams, her nightmares. Terrence apologized profusely when we ceased the exercise, and I did my best to take it in stride. Recall that I wasn't a reporter in search of a story, but merely a curious young man in search of information. Besides, I thought at the time, I could perhaps find another similar case if I put my mind and resources to it. Mary E. was the Sysop? Sysop? S-Y-S-O-P. How do you say that?
I don't know. Go with Sysop.
Okay. Mary E. was the sysop for a small Chicago-based bulletin board system in 1992 when she first encountered smile.jpg. For those of you that don't know, JPG means JPEG, means a picture, and her life changed forever. She and Terrence had been married for only 5 months. Mary was one of an estimated 400 people who saw the image when it was posted as a hyperlink on the BBS, bulletin board system.
Oh, God. BBSs. Do y'all remember those? I doubt it.
What's a BBS?
It's like way back in the day when the internet was first getting started. Like they were basically forums. They were kind of just forums that you could post stuff about.
Like Reddit?
A little bit different. Not exactly like Reddit, but if you've ever been to any other forum, the way a forum would look, it's very similar to what a BBS is.
Okay. Though she is the only one who has spoken openly about the experience. The rest have remained anonymous or, perhaps, dead. In 2005, when I was only in 10th grade, Smile.jpg was first brought to my attention by my burgeoning interest in web-based phenomena. So 2005, this person is interviewing in 2007. So 2005 was 2 years ago. They were in 10th grade. So this is like a senior project.
Gotcha.
Mary was the most often cited victim of what is sometimes referred to as Smile.dog. The being Smile.jpg is reputed to display. What caught my interest, other than the obvious macabre elements of the cyber legend and my proclivity towards such things, was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it even exists other than as a rumor or hoax.
This is one of those stories that I would like to say is overwritten, where someone's like, let me try and just put as many fancy words as I can in here, even though they don't make it sound any better.
It is unique because though the entire phenomenon centers on a picture file, that file is nowhere to be found on the internet. Certainly, many photo-manipulated simulacra. Fuck, this story has too many
you
words.
Didn't mute your computer like I asked. I can totally hear.
I fucking, oh my fuck.
I just heard the Discord notification behind us.
God fucking.
So this is awkward dead air. I have to listen to Discord notifications all day.
It's already on my headset. Like, my headset's plugged in. I changed it to my headset so you shouldn't hear anything.
I still hear it. I mean, it's still very, very audible. Just go in there and just turn off your speakers. Don't understand why you have to get so butthurt.
You're being a dickhead.
I'm not being a dickhead. I'm just saying. I asked you to mute it. You didn't mute it. Why don't you smile.dog? Fuck.
Fucking
don't hit me. Stop.
I had to break the wall. All right.
I'm shaking the fuck out of the cameras, but whatever.
Fuck. I'm obviously tired. I've been at work. God damn it. Okay. Many photo-manipulated simulacra, what have you, litter the web, showing up with the most frequency on sites such as the image board 4chan. Is a BBS like 4chan?
Probably, yeah. I've never been to 4chan, so I wouldn't really know for sure.
Particularly the X-focused paranormal subboard. It is suspected these are fakes because they do not have the same effect the true Smile.jpg is believed to have, namely sudden onset temporal lobe epilepsy and acute anxiety. So you see this picture and you immediately have seizures, or you're just filled with the sense of anxiety. And
it's like the brown note, how the brown note makes you shit your pants. It's just fear instead of shit.
That?
It's a picture instead of a note. Like a musical note. You've watched the episode of The League where he finds the brown note. There's also an episode of South Park where they find the brown note.
This purported reaction in the viewer is one of the reasons the phantom-like Smile.jpg is regarded with such disdain, since it is patently absurd, though depending on whom you ask, the reluctance to acknowledge Smile.jpg's existence might be just as much out of fear as it is out of disbelief. Neither Smile.jpg nor Smile.dog is mentioned anywhere on Wikipedia, though the website features articles on such other, perhaps more scandalous shock sites as, and it's a bunch of asterisks, hello.jpg or 2 girls, 1 cup. What the fuck? Any attempt to create a page pertaining to Smile.jpg is it says summarily, but I feel like it's supposed to be similarly.
It's summarily.
Is it? Okay. summarily deleted by any of the encyclopedia's many admins. Encounters with Smile.jpg are the stuff of internet legend. Mary E's story is not unique. There are unverified rumors of Smile.jpg showing up in the early days of Usenet, and even one persistent tale that in 2002, a hacker flooded the forums of humor and satire website Something Awful with a deluge of Smile.dog pictures, rendering almost half the forum's users at the time epileptic. It is also said that in the mid to late 90s that Smile.jpg circulated on Usenet as an attachment of a chainmail with the subject line, "Smile, God loves you." What's funny about that is, when MySpace was a thing, were you ever part of those message chains that were like, if you don't pass this on, some kid is going to come, like a ghost of a kid is going to come and kill you in the middle of the night?
I think I've gotten a few of them when I was on MySpace, but I immediately would block anyone who would send it to me and delete it. I was like, this is so dumb.
Sometimes I would read through them and start getting anxiety because the idea scared me so much.
I immediately was like, I cannot fucking believe that like chainmail is going to make its way onto the e-web like verse when that happened. I remember we started getting emails like that and I would just block the senders. And then I realized a bunch of them were my friends from like high school who were sending that shit like, you have to read this and pass it on, otherwise you're gonna have bad luck for 27 years.
Okay.
People are dumb is what I'm saying.
Yet despite the huge exposure these stunts would generate, there are very few people who admit to having experienced any of them, and no trace of the file or any link has ever been discovered. Those who claim to have seen Smile.jpg often weakly joke that they were far too busy to save a copy of the picture to their hard drive. However, all alleged victims offer the same description of the photo. A dog-like creature, usually described as appearing similar to a Siberian husky, illuminated by the flash of the camera, sits in a dim room. The only background detail that is visible being a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but is usually described as, quote-unquote, beckoning. What does a beckoning hand look like to you?
Like a hand that's like curled, like saying like, come here.
Yeah.
Why? I hate your fucking computer.
I'm telling you, dude, that thing just makes it's muted. And
that was the monitor.
That's the
monitor makes the bing noise every time it turns on, but I was hearing the do-do, Discord noise over and over and over. So continue.
Of course, most attention is given to the dog or dog creature, as some victims are more certain than others about what they claim to have seen. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly split in a wide grin, revealing 2 rows of very white, very straight, very sharp, very human-looking teeth.
Human-looking teeth aren't necessarily sharp, though. I find that interesting.
To me, in the picture, it looks like, the dog from The Mask when he wears the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Just giant human teeth.
Haunting. That's terrifying. The Mask was the best horror movie of my generation, so.
This is, of course, not a description given immediately after viewing the picture, but rather a recollection of the victims, who claim to have seen the picture endlessly repeated in their mind's eye during the time they are, in reality, having epileptic fits. So, while they're having these seizures, all they see is the picture of this entity, this dog-like creature. These fits are reported to continue indeterminably, often while the victims sleep, resulting in very vivid and disturbing nightmares. These may be treated with medication, though in some it is more effective than others. All right. Mary E., I assumed, was not an effective medication. Mary E., I assumed, was not on effective medication. That was why, after my visit to her apartment in 2007, I sent out feelers to several folklore and urban legend-oriented news groups, websites, and mailing lists, hoping to find the name of a supposed victim of Smile.jpg who felt more interested in talking about his experiences. For a time, nothing happened, and at length I forgot completely about my pursuits since I had begun my freshman year of college and was quite busy. Mary contacted me via email, however, near the beginning of March 2008. And so this email is titled Last Summer's Interview, and it goes, Dear Mr. L, I am incredibly sorry about my behavior last summer when you came to interview me. I hope you understand that it was no fault of yours, but rather my own problems that led me to act out as I did. I realized that I could have handled the situation more decorously. However, I hope you will give me at the time. I hope you will forgive me. At the time, I was afraid. You see, for 15 years, I've been haunted by Smile.jpg. Smile.dog comes to me in my sleep every night.
So I have a quick question.
They're the same thing.
This letter, no. Thank you for answering the question I wasn't going to ask. This letter is from the person that the author went to interview, being mailed back to them. This is what I like to call Kevin Smith syndrome, where all of your characters have the exact same diction and sound like the exact same character. So I was just like, wait, I thought this was from the person he was going to interview. Why the fuck did they use the same pretentious verbiage as they do? So, okay, I will let you continue.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm with you there. All right. I know that sounds silly, but it is true. There's an ineffable quality about my dreams. No one uses the term ineffable. Can you
hear it right now?
Yeah, it's fucking muted, dude. I don't fucking know. It's fucking muted. What do you fucking want from me?
I want the sound to not be going, It's fine. Leave it be. Don't roll over there. Because if you already muted it, then clearly there's a ghost in your machine, and there's no point in us battling it live on the air. Do you need your corrective lenses?
Maybe.
It's so fucking loud, and it won't shut the fuck up. It's so annoying. I hate Discord at this point. It's my least favorite program.
There's an Fuck!
All right, hang on. Well, everyone take 5. Let's take a quick shake it out. Everything's okay. I'm gonna have a little sippy right here. You guys notice my new mic arm? Yep, it's okay so far. We'll see if it works out or not. It's okay. It's a good reset. I'm going to go ahead and scooch back in, take a sip of my drink, and then Robin's going to get going again. There we go. This is right now what we were always sort of afraid of when we were talking about doing live shows. It's like, what happens when we have one of those nights and honestly, it's not even your fault. I don't want to rag on this too hard, but the fucking writing in this creepypasta is garbage. I hate it. I'm sorry. There's this wonderful foreword, if you've ever read Stephen King's Gunslinger, when he republished the book, where he talked about how much he hated Gunslinger because it showed how bad of a writer he was because he did this shit where you church up your language to try and make yourself look better.
It's too many fancy
It's trying to
words.
hide plot holes. That's what people do. They're like, I'm going to sound good to hide the fact that I'm trying to make this longer. This is like when you were like, oh, I gotta get a 10-page essay. I only have 3 pages. Hang on, let me bust out the thesaurus and see what I can toss in here. So, all right, I'm done shitting on this now. We can go ahead and move on. I apologize for interrupting you.
Okay. There's what the fuck? No,
it's a fucking drag race behind our house right now.
Okay. There is an ineffable quality about my dreams, my nightmares, that makes them completely unlike any real dreams I have ever had. I do not move and do not speak. I simply look ahead, and the only thing ahead of me is the scene from that horrible picture. I see the beckoning hand, and I see Smile.dog. It talks to me. It's not a dog, of course, though I am not quite sure what it really is. It tells me it'll leave me alone if only I do as it asks. All I must do, it says, is spread the word. That is how it phrases its demands, and I know exactly what it means. It wants me to show it to someone else.
7 days.
That's what I'm thinking, too. It's just like The Ring. And I could. The week after my incident, I received in the mail a manila envelope with no return address. Inside was only a 3.5-inch floppy diskette. Oh my lord.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with what that is, it's the save icon.
Computers don't even have those anymore.
Yeah, you don't even have that on your computer anymore.
Without having to check, I knew precisely what was on it. I thought for a long time about my options. I could show it to a stranger, a coworker. I could even show it to Terrence, as much as the idea disgusted me. And what would happen then? Well, if Smile.dog kept its word, I could sleep. Yet if I lied, what would I do? and who was to say something worse would not come for me if I did as the creature asked? So I did nothing for 15 years, though I kept the diskette hidden amongst my things. Every night for 15 years, Smile.dog has come to me in my sleep and demanded that I spread the word. For 15 years, I have stood strong, though there have been hard times. Many of my fellow victims on the BBS board where I first encountered Smile.jpg stopped posting. I heard some of them committed suicide. Others remained completely silent, simply disappearing off the face of the web. They are the ones I worry about the most. I sincerely hope you will forgive me, Dr. L, but last summer when you contacted me and my husband about an interview, I was near the breaking point. I decided I was going to give you the floppy diskette. I did not care if Smile.dog was lying or not. I wanted it to end. You were a stranger, someone I had no connection with, and I thought I would not feel sorrow when you took the diskette as part of your research and sealed your fate.
Oh, dick move. Just saying.
Before you arrived, I realized what I was doing. I was plotting to ruin your life. I could not stand the thought, and in fact, I still cannot. I am ashamed, Mr. L, and I hope that this warning will dissuade you from further investigation of Smile.jpg. You may in time encounter someone who is, if not weaker than I, then wholly more depraved, someone who will not hesitate to follow Smile.dog's orders. Stop while you are still whole. Sincerely, Mary E. Terrence contacted me later that month with the news that his wife had killed herself.
Jesus.
While cleaning up the various things she'd left behind, closing email accounts and the like, he happened upon the above message. He was a man in shambles. He wept as he told me to listen to his wife's advice. He'd found the diskette, he revealed, and burned it until it was nothing but a stinking pile of blackened plastic. The part that most disturbed him, however, was how the diskette had hissed as it melted like some sort of animal. I will admit that
Ow, man, this really hurts. It's so hot.
Animals don't sound like that.
I'm an animal. I sound like that.
I will admit that I was a little uncertain about how to respond to this. At first, I thought perhaps it was a joke with the couple belatedly playing with the situation in order to get a rise out of me. A quick check of several Chicago newspapers' online obituaries, however, proved that Mary E. was indeed dead. There was, of course, no mention of suicide in the article. I decided that, for a time at least, I would not further pursue the subject of Smile.jpg, especially since I had finals coming up at the end of May. But the world has odd ways of testing us. Almost a full year after I'd returned from my disastrous interview with Mary E., I received another email. This one is from a completely different person, and the subject is Smile. It goes, "Hello, I found your email address through a mailing list. Your profile said you were interested in Smile Dog. I have saw it. It's not as bad as everyone says. I've sent it to you here. Just spreading the word." Smiley face. The final line chilled me to the bone. According to my email client, there was one file attachment called Naturally, Smile.jpg. I considered downloading it for some time. It was mostly like a fake, I imagined. Even if it weren't, I was never wholly convinced of Smile.jpg's peculiar powers. Mary E.'s account had shaken me, yes, but she was probably mentally unbalanced anyway. Rude. After all, how could a simple image do what Smile.jpg was said to accomplish? What sort of creature was it that could break one's mind with only the power of the eye? And if such things were patently absurd, then why did the legend exist at all? If I downloaded the image, if I looked at it, and if Mary turned out to be correct, if Smile.dog came to me in my dreams demanding I spread the word, what would I do? Would I live my life as Mary had, fighting against the urge to give in until I died, or would I simply spread the word, eager to be put to rest? And if I chose the latter route, how could I do it? Whom would I burden in turn? If I went through with my earlier intention to write a short article about Smile.jpg, I decided I could attach it as evidence. And anyone who read this article, anyone who took interest would be affected. And even assuming the smile.jpg attached to the email was genuine, would I be capricious enough to save myself in that manner? Could I spread the word? Yes. Yes, I could. And at the bottom of the fucking story is the picture of the terrifying goddamn dog. It's awful. It's just like...
It's a dog that's smiling with human teeth.
It looks like... Okay, so the photo, we'll obviously post it later, is a Polaroid with bloody fingerprints on it.
Of course it is.
And there's the hand, but it does, to me, it doesn't look beckoning. It just looks like someone has their hand out, you know? It doesn't look like, come here. And then there's the picture of a husky with human teeth, and it's just sitting there smiling like a fucking creeper. But yeah, that's the story.
I will say the beginning of it is just a lot of like unnecessary language, but it does pick up steam near the end because it's focused. You can really tell. I'm really giving a critique on how the story was written more than the story itself, but like you can tell they started to get to the point, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than just going over like, I'm now going to describe in vivid detail with my pretentious vocabulary all the things that led up to these emails that were sent back and forth. So it's definitely like the whole idea of the ring. Like, I'm going to share this with you now, and now it's going to poison your mind, and you have to share it too.
You have 7 days.
So, like, what the fuck happens once everyone knows it? Is the dog just like, thumbs up, rough?
I wonder if it takes over, you know.
Takes over what?
People's minds. Because it's...
All of them? I thought if you shared it...
If you keep sharing it, and it takes over enough people's minds, don't you think it would, like, gain this sort of power?
I thought it left you alone if you shared it.
She never shared it. You don't know.
I mean, he shared it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but do we know what happens to him after?
If everyone were to share it, that's what I'm saying. Like, would it just go away, or would it be like, all right,
I don't think so.
Stage 2? No,
I think it would take over people's minds.
Stage 1, collect underpants.
I think that's its whole goal, is to just take over people's minds.
Who knows? There's not really a lot of detail written towards that. It's just like creepy picture of a dog that you can see in your sleep and drives you crazy, and then a lot of pretentious writing about how terrifying it is. So either way, it's a good concept. And I thought it was a pretty good story.
Yeah.
So, good stuff, Robin.
It's very long. Sorry, everyone.
Way to start us out. Good.
That's 30 minutes.
It's okay.
I'm telling you, dude, that thing is fucking...
It's not muted. There's no way that thing is
muted.
Look at it. I will. All right. We can't both go over there. We can't abandon the stream. All right. I'm going to scroll up and start reading some of this wonderful stream chat that we have from you folks. I mean, it certainly appears to be muted. Why don't you just close Discord? Then the battle's over.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You can see Robin hacking mainframes over there. It's really white in our background, so that her screen's kind of blown out, so you can't see like all the ridiculous pornography she has on that computer. There's no porn. I'm just kidding. All right, scrolling up, I'm going to read what you folks have to say. There's a lot of it. All right. Well, there's so much I actually can't go all the way back to the beginning. So
what?
I'm going to try and see who the first person here was, but Streamlabs is broke and it won't let me read the chat.
Wow, that sucks.
There it goes. Okay, scrolling to the tippy top of Streamlabs. See what we got. Nope, that's broke too. Okay, so there's been so much chat we can't actually see who was first. I believe it was I Am Beef Trainer or I'm What's for Dinner. I'm not 100% sure, and then I know second was Glitch. So that is good.
Do you have the redemption window?
I do. What does that have to do with what I'm doing right now, though?
I'm just asking.
Of course I have the redemption window. I always have the redemption window. It's right there. All right, so I guess I'll do redemptions since Robin is just hankering for some of those. Shout out to Alicia Reese, who followed us when we were off the air. Shout out to I'm What's for Dinner, who subscribed for the 16th month. It says, just made a smoothie, and it has the consistency of glue, but at least I still have ... At least I still have Scaryish. Aw, thank you. Shout out to Laura Ann, who resubscribed using Prime Gaming for the 20th month and said, woo.
Thank you so much. You know, I haven't had a smoothie in so long.
I love smoothies.
I don't have a giant blender readily just on the counter, so I don't really make smoothies.
We have stuff we can make smoothies with, but like she said, it's not like super convenient. All right, anyways, Ginseng Joe gifted a sub over there to Kill a Cupcake 1991. Thank you, Ginseng Joe.
Because it is Kill a Cupcake's third time ever having been to a live. And thank you for joining us, but I'm sorry, it was awful.
Game Boy 14 over there on Twitch says, it just went away. It says, Adam, did you read my message in Discord? No, I did not. I have not been on Discord today. It was a very busy day at work. I'll check it right after this. I read I'm What's for Dinner, read Laura Ann, read Jinx and Joe. The Snarked resubscribed for the 27th month, y'all. It's a lot of months.
That's a lot of months.
Thanks, Adam and Robin,
so
for all your support. Captain Fake Eye gifted a sub to Nikki025 Shepherd. Thank you so much, Captain Fake Eye. And Moon Prince followed us. Thank you so much,
Thank
Moon
you
Prince,
to everyone
for following.
who's saying they like my purple hair.
It looks really good.
I'm going to be overtoning it, like putting overtone in it because it's starting to get brown. So I'm going to put more purple. I don't know how dark it's going to be because I have the purple for brown hair. So who knows if my hair is going to look black with like purple highlights. I don't know. I haven't. We'll see. We'll find out.
All right. So we have a few more things to go over. We got the hype train going during that. Hailstorm and Chunkster both redeemed a drink.
Oh, I have a lemon drop today.
Hype train level 1 completed, which is awesome to see. So we have 2 drinks that have been redeemed. Nothing too crazy. I'm drinking Leinenkugels.
Yeah, I made
summer shandy.
I bought like some lemon drop mix, and I thought so. My sister got some of that Brothers Bond bourbon, and I thought she'd brought it over already. She didn't. So at first I was like, "Oh, I'll make a drink with bourbon." We don't have it, so I looked into all our little drink fridges, and there was the lemon drop mix that I got a couple like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I just put that vodka, some Cointreau, because apparently today I learned Cointreau is a triple sec, whereas Grand Marnier is not. It's like depending on what the liquor is, what type it's refined as. I don't know, but I put that in there because it asked for triple sec. So
Laura Ann redeemed another drink, so we're up to 3. I have 2 left to go. Lunabin says Adam's looking very handsome this evening. Thank you, Lunabin.
It's a nice shirt. It's a really, really nice shirt.
I really like this shirt. I like this brown. That also means that a bunch of people complimented how Robin looks, but they all got scrolled away because usually I come in after that. Alicia Reese says, I'm here too. What up, Alicia Reese? Thank you for everyone who has joined us who I was not able to read because the messages have disappeared. Hailstorm said, let the drink redeem start. Lots of folks saying when they graduated, which is hilarious. ASB Bunny says I graduated in 2011. Killer Cupcake says, I don't know who is who or how to use Twitch. That's my man's forte. That's hilarious.
Try this.
Oh. You're going to have to read this stuff then. Because it's going to go away before
Hailstorm says, Adam, you were graduated around when I was born.
You're a youngin' then.
Oh my god.
That is gross as fuck.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Yeah, but I have soju too, so I brought soju in case it was not good.
So strong. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was trying to use the, what are those?
Did you use a mixer that already had booze in it?
No.
Ugh.
So I tried to use the jigger and it wasn't working. I spilled vodka
How does the jigger not work? You just fill it.
It's one of those ones that have jiggers on both sides. So I was like, I was having problems in the kitchen. I spilled vodka all over the kitchen counter, okay? So I just stopped using the jigger and I was just like, just fucking pour vodka in there. So I just poured it and I was like, that looks like 2 ounces. Oh my god. Apparently it's more than that.
Clearly. Lizzie B says I graduated in 1998. Shout out to Lizzie B.
Luna been graduated in 2019. You're such a
baby.
Ginseng
Joe graduated in 2019. Scrolling. Game Boy says, yeah, I was born in 2007. I'm a bit younger than most spooky friends.
My god, stop. I don't want to read any of these.
I was going to say, that puts you at 13 or 14. I think you had to basically lie to get into the channel because I'm pretty sure this channel's marked mature. Hailstorm says class of 2021. Alicia Reese says class 2005. Laura Ann says class 2006. Scrolling some more. They said, dang, Robin isn't even drunk
I know.
yet.
You know what it is? I had
no glasses on.
I don't have glasses but I had an hour and a half at the post office today to just pick up a package that should have just been put in my goddamn mailbox. And then I went to work and I was at work late, so I already was stressed out about being at work late because the post office took so freaking long. And then do you hear music?
It doesn't matter, dude. Please just finish your story.
And so I'm just tired. I'm tired. I was working. I was doing stuff, and I'm just tired. It's my brain is tired. Not my body. My body's fine. I still have to
Her body is fine.
My body is a wonderland. I still have to work on final projects after the live stream. So, all right.
So I just switched my camera back to manual focus because the autofocus was one like doing it every 30 seconds for some reason, and 2, focusing on the background instead of the foreground because it's fucking stupid.
Oh, Lunabin says they graduated high school in 2014. So you graduated college in 2018. You graduated college?
2019. They said
2019? You graduated so early.
Good for
I'm
you.
so jealous.
Good work.
Yeah. It's taken me 10 years to finish college, just saying.
All right. I'm going to keep scrolling here because we are missing so much of the chat.
Let's see.
IMB trainer class of 01.
Captain Fake Guy says, I feel so old listening to this. Dude, but I think you and I are the same age, so.
I'm Watching said in response to IMB trainer 1901. It's a good burn. Scrolling, we had a bunch of fucking spam that came
wanna
through.
Be famous. I told you guys, I am famous.
Everyone begging Glitch to get rid of them. Laura Ann says, agree with Adam. Lots of unnecessary
Luna Bin says, shoo.
Yeah, so there's a foreword in Gunslinger when they reprinted it, where Stephen King, I don't want to elaborate on it too much, but he basically says that he wrote Gunslinger and he put it in a drawer and he put it away. He wrote a bunch of other stuff and then he came back to Gunslinger later and he fucking hated it. So he reworked it to take out a lot of the ridiculous verbiage that was 100% unnecessary that just takes you out of it. And because of that, it wound up being a much better book. It's this idea of like, if you have something that you think is good, but you can't figure out what's wrong with it, put it away and come back to it with new eyes after a couple of years, which I do think is brilliant.
It is a good idea because a lot of things that I write, at least, when it comes to school and stuff like that, and you submit it right away, you don't do your second and third reads to re-edit.
Have to edit. Yeah.
You should always double check and reread and re-edit because I had to turn in a technical credit course essay and I sent it to my coworker to her to read it over because she was like the supervisor on it, but I had already submitted it and I didn't reread it and I didn't edit it, and she was like, it was good, but there were places where you missed words because you're probably like rushing through, and I knew what you were saying, but there was a word you didn't put in there. And so just a little writing tidbit for all you young people that are still having to write essays and stories and stuff like that. Just
if you think that you're so talented that you can submit a rough draft as a final draft, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. Like, the professional writer's biggest fear is that people will find their rough drafts and they'll realize how bad of a writer they are. There are essays and stories written about that. And it's like, just because someone's willing to give you an A or a B on a rough draft doesn't mean it's good. And if you don't do your edit, and I see this all the time with emails that are sent to us about stuff that happened, where they just leave words out. And thank the Lord for Spooky Mom, because she tries to make sense of some of these things that get sent to us with no punctuation, with like the tenses flipping back and forth, so it makes no sense because you don't understand if they're telling you about what happened or telling you about what is happening. And it's just one of those things where just proofread your shit. Just proofread your shit before you send it. I also recommend that if you're having a big fight with a family member or a spouse and you're going to send them a really long ass text, read it before you send it, because the one thing you don't want is to have your point ruined by the fact that you made a spelling error, so that they can focus on that instead of focusing on what you're actually trying to say. Not calling anyone out in the room. She doesn't really do that to me. But I do have a sibling who is a fucking dickhead.
Captain Fake Eye says, 2 Girls, 1 Cup is definitely middle school / high school. Absolutely.
It's college for me, actually.
Well, yeah, it was definitely that era of
fucking
school
young
for me.
people, I hate you.
Me and Captain Fake Eye, I think, are the same age. All right. People are talking about Apple devices. It won't let you sub via Prime. Wow, that's nuts. Kailstorm says, I've never seen it, but I never will. 2 Girls, 1 Cup is cursed.
I was going to say, any of those shock videos from that era.
Didn't it come out that it was just pudding, though, too?
It was fake. Pudding. It came out that it was totally fake.
Okay, cool.
But any of the shock videos from that era, I would highly recommend not watching, because they're fucking disgusting.
They're disgusting. Well, no, some of them are terrifying.
I didn't watch any of them. I was like, no thanks.
There's so many that I've seen, and I don't want to say that I've seen because they were so fucked up. All right. The Snark says, chain emails, how anxiety started. For real, though. That shit sucks.
It is already so
Lunabin says, I'm
here.
happy I was able to avoid most of those shock internet videos as a kid. I'm What's Your Dinner says, what the hell is 2 kids in a sandbox? I've never seen that one.
I never even heard of that one.
Hailstorm says, Tub Girl, never heard of that one. She says, don't look it up. Ginseng Joe says, I don't think I've ever saw 2 Girls, 1 Cup or any of those crazy videos. You don't want to.
Skip it.
Dude, remember when there was a point in history where everything was like, jump scare? Like, You would be playing.
I feel like we still live in that because of all the shit people post still.
But there was one particular one. You would be watching any video and people would put the face of the girl from The Exorcist like really big on your screen and then have really loud scream.
I've seen the one where you're supposed to be watching the car driving up the hill like in the distance and it's driving and driving and driving and you like look at it and then all of a sudden like
the girl,
a demon pops up and it's just like, oh, I get it.
Yep.
Glitch Grim says, don't hate on Kevin Smith. He is the best.
I like
a lot of Kevin Smith's stuff, but like the biggest knock on Kevin Smith writing
all
is
talk the same.
Every single character has the same vocabulary, the same diction, the same cadence. And it's like screenwriting 101 on how to not write characters.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
What are you doing over there, man? Aside from shaking your camera.
Yeah, like in, what is that one movie? Clerks. All the characters have the same snark, have the same jokes. Like they all know how to talk. The only
two characters who are not the same as everyone else are Jay and Silent Bob, which is why they are the most popular characters because they sound different. It's like if you watch Mallrats, which was my fucking jam in high school. Mallrats? I loved Mallrats. I thought it was amazing. But like the main character trying to get his girl back and Jason Mewes, whose character Brody, I think his name was, they speak exactly the same. And for Jason Mewes, it makes sense. That guy exudes this sort of like arrogance, superiority of his intellect, but he's also like charming in the way he looks down on you. But the other actor who plays the main character, like every time he has to say these lines, like it's just so disingenuous. It drives me fucking nuts. But all right, I'm gonna keep scrolling. Mark
Gabriel
over there.
People are talking about how I was frustrated. Lizzie B says Robin's about to fuck someone up.
Luna Ben said, welcome to the stage, Mike Arm. That's a good joke.
Can you see it?
I mean, you can kind of see this part of it because I pulled it forward.
That's pretty cool.
Mark Gabriel over there in YouTube says, what up, guys? What up? Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Lizzie B says, I love Gunslinger. I still haven't read it. I read the foreword and I was just like, that was a really interesting take on how to write stuff. Lizzie B says, well, not a fan of Dr. Sleep. I haven't read that either.
Chunkster says, can't wait to get home and put my nice noise-canceling headphones on. I kind of want to get the ones where you can choose how noise canceling they are, or there's one that you can soften the sound of everyone else but not necessarily noise cancel so you can still hear your surroundings.
I would never get a noise canceling headset because every time I put on the current headset I have, which blocks out noise pretty well, Robin immediately starts speaking to me. It happens all the time. It's just unlucky timing where I'm like, did you just say something? And she's like, oh yeah, I just asked you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I just can never put these on. I always feel like I'm missing something.
Glitch says Ringu about the Ring movie. I'm
the
Beef
original
Trainer
Japanese
says
version?
Spooky Fam sending love to Robin. Honestly, we're sending our love to Adam, Robin, and Spooky Mom. Aww.
52DZ just resubscribed for the 32nd
Oh my
month.
God. Thank you so much.
Wow, indeed. Thank you so much for all your support.
Captain Fake Eye says, it's the save icon. That's so, you know what's so funny when people have those floppy disks and then there are kids that were like, oh, that's cute. You 3D printed the save icon.
It's like fuck you,
no.
Child. All right. Alicia Reese says she needs a hug in reference to Robin.
Me? Yes. Well, I'm sending you hugs too. Yeah, I remember being able to, you could decorate your floppy disk. So when you were in elementary school.
On it. It was so you could write on it and say like what's on that disk.
You would write your own files, like you would make Word files, right? And put them on your floppy disk for school. And then you would write your name. And then you draw little pictures on the little label. We'd have to turn in homework
on 3.5 floppies.
Yep.
When I was a kid.
Exactly. Yes. You would have to turn your floppy disk in. Oh my God.
Everyone's debating between diskette and floppy disk, what the difference was.
I call it a floppy. If it's 3.5, I call it a floppy.
I think
if you have
diskettes were the 3.5, and then the floppies were technically
the ones that were actually
ones
floppy.
That look like sheets of paper, but they look like vinyl records.
Those are the 8-inch, I think. 9-inch?
They're big. They're big motherfuckers, and they're just
huge.
Like
yeah, and that's probably why they're called floppy disks.
It's 100% why they're called floppy disks.
All
right, I'm gonna keep scrolling here. A Facebook user said it's a Horcrux. Let's figure out who you were that said that, so I can give you the proper credit. I have these up and muted so we can make sure.
Our internet went out last night, and we were like, what are we gonna watch? I don't know what to do because there's no Netflix, because there's no internet. And we just happened to have the box set of Harry Potter still in the bedroom because we were watching a, what are those called? Marathons of Harry Potter movies for a while there. And so we just watched the next one in our list of movies, which was Order of the Phoenix. So we did watch Harry Potter last night.
Worked out pretty well. I will say I can't even see who it was that commented in Facebook because the privacy settings, and it's only showing me the 5 most recent messages,
really?
The 5 oldest messages. There's 18 comments. Those are the only ones that I can see.
Wow, that's nuts.
It's annoying, but hey.
All right.
At least I was able to read it, and you didn't get left out. MI says, "Oh, I can't get Twitch to work. Twitch has been such a pain in the ass all day.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it for half the day when I was working either." It says, "Nice shirt, Adam." Hi, Miss Robin.
Hello. Oh, that's so nice of you, Miss Robin. That's so cute. I'm Beef Train says, it went floppy disk, diskette, because it's smaller. Zip disk, flash drive, memory stick, and then cloud. Yeah. I am obsessed with using the cloud. I'm sure it's not very... I should be putting stuff on hard drives.
So the cloud can also fail.
Yes.
Like, it just sounds like it's there, and it's a server somewhere that saves your shit.
Yes. So I feel like I should be downloading everything onto an actual hard drive and just have it in multiple places. All right.
TNKNY says, hi, F-Wens.
Oh, hello.
Thank you for joining us. Alexis Coomer says, how are you guys? We're doing okay. A little bit of a shit show to start the show. Glitch says, that monitor is beautiful. It indeed is.
I love it. It is the best monitor I've ever owned, but it's just perfect for me to do all my art stuff on because it's true color, whereas the smaller monitor that I have on my right is usually just for me to watch TV on because the color, everyththing turns yellow pretty much on it.
But on the other one, you can see the true colors shining through.
Is that the song?
Yeah.
Okay. Hailstorm says, I want a snow cone right now. Me too. My aunt came over and brought us snow cones the other day, and it was so good.
I didn't have it.
Is it still in the freezer?
I told you, or my mom, one of you two asked me later on that evening, like, did you eat yours?
I should have eaten it. Damn it.
I try to avoid ice cream. I have a savory tooth, but I also don't eat anything to make me fatter. So if I'm not craving sweets, I'm like, all right, I'm just not
I just love putting ice cream underneath the snow cone. It is so good. The vanilla ice cream, you just scoop that up with the friggin' sugary ice. So good.
MI says graduated in 2006. Alexis Coomer says graduated in 2015.
So many babies.
Neff, of course, says, oh my God, now I feel so old. I graduated high school in 2002. Shout out to Neff.
You and Adam, same boat.
I'm watching this. Says, just think, next year, September 12th, people who weren't even alive for 9/11 will be old enough to drive.
I remember when people were saying that about them being old enough to drive or to vote.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And that's how time works, you know? They get older, we get older, and I don't want to think about it.
MI says, oh, you're probably about 10 years younger than me. I feel old now. That's hilarious. All right, going to scroll through.
Chunkster says, OMG, finally home. Had a long day at work. Hopefully you get to relax, grab something to eat. I am craving like Indian food or like Volcano Grill.
She's been craving Indian food for like the last week.
Yeah, I want Indian food or Volcano Grill. Both those things sound so good right now.
I don't know if I read this. Says, I agree, re Kevin Smith.
I was 21 in 2001. What?
Nice. You were probably the person I was asking to buy me beer.
Oh my God.
By the time I was 2003, I grew my beard in. My beard used to be thicker when I was younger, actually. And I had a liquor store that did not give a fuck. And I just be like, I just go in there and ask for it. And they would like never, ever, ever card me. And I don't know what happened. There was a crackdown. And then after that, like those days were fucking over.
My ex, when I first started dating him, I was only 20. And the first date, he took me to a bar. And I was like, I'm not allowed to drink. I was just like, oh, I gotta tell you. Ooh. But his sister was the bartender. So she just made me a drink anyway. And I was just like, I've never drank before. I don't know.
Is this how you do it? All right.
Let's see.
Man, Eek says, "Oh my God, I've finally been able to see this live at least for a little bit. Your guys' podcast, as weird as it may sound, is what helps me fall asleep at night.
Aw, that's
Thank you
so
both
cool.
for being you and making such great content.
I think that means our voices are calming, and I think that's really nice.
Even though we talk about stuff that might not necessarily be calming, it's nice to hear that.
I watched this YouTuber. His name's like Connor something VA, or he's a voice actor, but his voice is so like calming. I just watch his videos, not for the content, though the content is very funny, but he has very calming voice, and it just is like nice to work to because I don't have to pay attention to what he's doing because I know he's saying stupid shit and I just focus on my work. It's hilarious. He does stuff like buys $45 costumes or in cosplay costumes or $50. It's like he has a series where he keeps going up in price for cosplay costumes and they look like shit, but they're so fucking funny. Okay.
All right. Glitch Grim says Jason Mewes is Jay Brody is a different character. No. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Like Silent Bob or Jay and Silent Bob, played by a different person. Brody is also the demon in Dogma. I know. I said Brody is Jason. What's his face? The dude who was I Am Earl.
I don't know what that is. I don't know.
She doesn't know anything. I don't know why I'm looking at her for help here. But yeah, that character speaks completely different than the main character of that movie. So keep scrolling here.
Is Liz bringing over the bourbon?
I really hope not, because I would really like to not have a bunch of more fucking sound in the background of editing this episode. I'm going to let you edit just one so you can see how hard it is.
Oh my god. Let's see. Oh, ASB Bunny Sister is here. Hello. Welcome.
What up, ASB Bunny Sister? Thank you for joining us.
Glitch is like, I'm triggered. I love Kevin Smith. Chunkster says, yes, Robin, I can control the outside noise. I really like headphones where you can do that. Hailstorm says, I'm going to vibe out of the chat. I have dishes to do. All right.
Glitch Grim says, I have two people I want to meet in real life. One is Kevin Smith, and the second one is Adam and Robin. Yes, they count as one person.
I agree. Well, I mean, technically, we kind of go everywhere.
So Lizzie B, I'm pretty sure, was the one that said, LOL, it's all me. Sorry, that's okay. Thank you for letting me know, because I always want to make sure you guys get the credit for when you're participating, so you don't feel like we're ignoring you in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Radio Man says, good evening, Robin and Adam. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
We're almost caught up. It is so hot in here, man.
It is very hot in here.
I had the AC blasting. I had a fan blowing the AC into the room to make sure it was cold, and it's been 52 minutes, and it's so fucking hot.
I'm deodorantless, so I'm going to be so smelly. So smelly.
MI says, I think when I sent in one of my stories, I said I was Adam's age. I'm probably closer to Robin's. It sounds like LOL. Oops. You just mistook it because I look so young. I don't look like I'm about to turn 36.
I'm 31. I turned 32 this year, so everyone send me good vibes. My sister's turning 30 for the first time. That's how it works. You only turn 30 once.
Yep.
But I'm trying to think of things.
That's not true. I've turned 16 twice now. So
I'm trying to think of things to do for someone who's turning 30 during a COVID time, you know, where you can't get to go to... You don't get to go to cool places that you want to go to for your 30th birthday.
You know, you go over there and you kick them in the back and you say, welcome to back pain. You're gonna have it for the rest of your life. The Snark says, OMG, Robin, I'm craving Volcano Grill too. Yo, that food, so good. Bomb.com.
I love Volcano Grill. Okay. Let's see. I almost Adria says she told us she can't lie in person. That's probably me.
Radio Man says, who remembers the show Alf? I do. It stands for alien life form. He ate cats.
Ginseng says, I wish I tolerated my voice. I can barely tolerate my voice. That's why Adam edits. Oh, fuck. Let's see. AZ Bunny says, Bunny's hanging out behind me. She's a very important job of babysitting today while I start my new job. Aw, cute. Amsterdam says, Adam's going to be editing the first half hour of the show for 3 hours. Actually,
not, man.
Adam is he's done this for so long. We've been doing this podcast for over 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And so he's really fast now.
I mark our recordings live while we're recording, so I know, like, go back here, you need to fix this. It's difficult to have a producer ear while you're also supposed to be interacting.
When we were doing Nerd Chills, he was writing each timestamp down because we didn't have the setup and stuff we have now.
Yeah,
so it was lot harder.
That was the first way I started doing it, because I couldn't mark it. I had to write down. I would just write down like the time code as it was going by, so I could go back and fix it.
Ginseng says, "I'm here to offer a solution for the hot room. Both of you, please exit the room immediately." That's so cute.
Just leave the stream on
and take the live stream with you. That's funny. Okay.
Alexis says I'll be 26 on September 27th. Interesting. Happy birthday in 5 months.
You know, I just backed this Ozbot cam that tracks you when you're walking. And
Can it track you while you shake the desk? Because you should back that shit.
No, but I thought it would be really cool for vlogging and stuff like that. I don't know.
Someone said I've been 29 7 times. There's no way. You'd be so old. All right, we're going to stop right there.
Wait, no, don't say that.
What do you mean don't say that? What's 29 times 7?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
It's like 185 or something like that. No, don't say that. Don't call a 180-year-old old. Don't be mean.
I mean, I don't want to live forever because I know that
you'll only be living in vain. Is it vain or pain?
Pain.
Those movies suck. It doesn't matter.
Pain.
All right, I'm moving over to my first story of the show, and hopefully I won't give us 26 fucking edits in the first episode.
You know what's funny is I've been watching the 50 Shades movies. Sorry. And last night I was supposed to start the third one because I had just finished the second one. And instead of putting on the third one, I was like, oh, time for the last one. I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to put on Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings is a much better movie.
And so it started and I saw the lettering of like the production company. I was like, is this Lord of the Rings? She's like, yeah. Sometimes I just want to watch Lord of the Rings. I was like, there's more fucking in this movie. I'm pretty sure it's implied that Gandalf fucks Frodo a whole bunch.
You're
I am
so stupid.
finally going to read now.
Okay.
I'm going to mark it.
Oh my god. I just love Lord of the Rings. You're like more Star Wars. I think I'm more Lord of the Rings.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm way cooler.
Fuck you. Excuse me?
Excuse me? I can't lean this thing back as far as I want, so I'm going to have to
the
play with it a
arm
little
or
bit. Yeah, the
okay.
arm. What other thing would I be talking about?
The chair.
No, why would I be leaning my chair back? So I'm going to read and lean back and just relax.
I don't even know how to lean this thing back.
There's a fucking lever. So
Oh, I found it.
Hooray.
Okay, got it.
It is so hot in here. All right, marking it. We're going to go ahead and get into my first story of the show. Once Robin stops doing that with her beautiful, luscious, glorious lips.
Thanks.
Oh no, I got the burps from the fucking... Oh, look at this part of my goatee that didn't grow back perfectly. You see that? It drives me nuts. Sometimes it grows in thick, sometimes it doesn't.
Shave it
no. Why would you don't shave my face?
No, I just mean when I did the thing with when I accidentally did.
No,
well, I
you
didn't
did- you
accidentally.
did my
I did
cheek.
it on purpose.
But yeah, sometimes it grows in nice and thick, and sometimes it grows in thin like this. When this happens, this means one thing, because it looks like it's like blank right there. I gotta shave to a mustache. It's gonna happen tonight, maybe tomorrow. All right, here we go. I'm actually going to read now.
Lol.
All right, so I'm going to move into my first creepypasta of the show, and this one's titled Ghost Train. I picked this one specifically because it reminds me of a Rick and Morty episode, so we'll see if that's what happens here. It starts out like this. The house I grew up in was right next to a set of busy railroad tracks. From my bedroom window, I could watch the trains roll by. There were 3 types of trains that used those tracks and still do to this day. There's one. There were the long, lumbering freight trains pulling boxcars, flatbeds, and tankers, which I would try and count as they clattered by. Then there were the fast-moving commuter trains of the Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, aka MATA, or the M, as some people called it, and Amtrak passenger trains that would breeze by, heading to and from Central Station in the heart of the city.
I will say, if you folks have never ridden an Amtrak train, I would recommend it because riding a train is a million times more comfortable than flying in a plane. Because
or riding in a car. I like riding in a car for road trips, but when we did the train travel between Ohio and Indiana, that was pretty fucking sweet.
Great because the seats are a million times bigger than a plane, and it's just nice and quiet, and the views are nice, and you're not driving, so you're like, someone else is taking me there. This is amazing.
Like every time I get on a plane and they make me drive, I'm like, ugh, again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and keep going.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate you.
I was like following you with the comparisons to the fucking plane. And I was like,
because you said driving.
What? Okay, I'm gonna read now.
Fuck God.
Now, when most people see trains, they're just big machines rolling down ribbons of steel. But me, I saw trains as a symbol of freedom and a way out of the hood. Whenever I saw a train, I would imagine all the places it was going to and coming from. Naturally, my favorite toys as a tyke were my Thomas the Tank Engine toys. I had all the characters: Thomas, Percy, Gordon, James, Toby, Daisy, all of them.
This is adorable.
When I was 10, my grandparents bought me a Lionel train set for my birthday.
Are those nice train sets?
I think so.
Like, go around?
I didn't do too much research into trains before this though. To me, it was the best present ever. It consisted of a steam engine and 4 passenger cars. There was even a small bottle of drops you'd put in the smokestack that allowed the engine to make smoke. That's
What?
awesome. I'd spend hours watching that toy train run around in an oval, pretending it was real, and that I was driving the locomotive through forests, past fields, across mountains, and past small towns. I eventually developed other interests, namely girls, but I still never lost my interest in trains.
There are episodes of Young Sheldon where he loves playing with his little train set because Sheldon from Big Bang Theory loves trains. In Young Sheldon, he's like, there's at a point where he's doing physics with the train, right? He launches a ball from one of the cars of the train, and then it like jumps and lands as the train's moving into that same car. It's impressive. Anyway, go on. I love trains.
Cool. Glad we had that little break.
I love
Mark,
trains.
can you scooch more towards your mic? You're leaning forward now, which is better, but you can see your audio sample dip significantly. Or you can just blow your mic. Who knows? When I got older, I applied for a job as an engineer trainee on MATA and got it.
Nice.
For me, it was a dream come true. After I took the required classroom courses and exams, I soon found myself riding in the cab of the sleek diesel engines that pull the commuter trains.
I forget that this is a creepypasta because I totally vibe with the author of this story.
So this one
right
is
now.
definitely more authentic, and there's no vis-a-vis concordantly, blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, the way the trainee program, the trainee program
Oh.
was set up was that they'd have you ride on the different lines of the system for a few months with a regular engineer. I'd be on one line for a few weeks, and then I'd be assigned to another line in order to be familiar with the different routes. The M has 8 routes, all numbered. The main line is line 1, and all the branches line...
That was him rewinding.
Stop. Let me just keep going. The main line is line 1, and all the branch lines are line 2, line 3, and so on. I'm so glad "and so on" showed up in that sentence. I started on line 7 for the first week. Fucking suck a dick. I started on line 7 the first few weeks before being moved to line 8. Now, line 8, or the Cloverton line, as it is sometimes called, is one of the longest branch lines on the system, second only to line 2, aka the Miller Sport line. The first time I rode on line 8, I was with a veteran engineer named Hank. Now, Hank had been with the company from the beginning, when the old railroads decided they wanted out of the money-losing commuter services and handed all their locomotives and rolling stock to MATA. We had the, quote, night owl service, which starts at 7 p.m. and ends at 5 in the morning.
Sounds hot.
We picked up our first passengers at Central Station and were soon on our way to Cloverton. As we were going down the track, Hank turned to me and said, quote, "There is something you should know if you're going to be working for this railroad, especially if they decide to put you here on line 8 once they make you an official engineer."
We're a midnight meat train.
Fucking name. Just shut up. Just shush. I looked at him and said, "We're a midnight meat train." Not really. She thinks that's funny because it's her own joke and I told it back to her. That was the most brilliant thing you've ever said. I looked at him and said, "Oh, and what's that?" Hank paused to blow the horn for a crossing and then said, "This line is haunted." I replied, "Haunted? How is the line haunted?" Hank looked at me. "Go ahead. I heard you open your lips. You got something to say. Let's all pause for Robin."
I'm just like, Hank is probably just like, I'm a go.
If that's the twist, I'm going to be so pissed that you ruined it. Hank looked at me and said, "It supposedly started with a curse. Back in the late 1800s, when one of the old railroad companies was building the line, the company built the line across the edge of an old farm that belonged to a man named Ezra Gray without his permission. Ezra demanded that the railroad remove the tracks from his property and relay them somewhere else, but the railroad refused due to it costing too much time and money to do so. Mr. Gray did try to sue the railroad, but was unsuccessful. You see, railroads were quite powerful back in those days, and the railroad had a lot of politicians and judges in their pocket. To add insult to injury, Ezra not only had to pay the court costs, but had to pay the railroad as well for all the money they spent on the legal proceedings. This bankrupted Ezra, and he was forced to sell the farm minus the small patch of land the tracks were built on, and Ezra Gray vowed to get even one way or another.
I would haunt the fuck out of that train.
When the line later opened up, Ezra stood on the tracks in front of the first train. The engineer tried to stop in time, but Ezra was hit anyway. This is just me saying this. You sure showed them.
What?
Before he died, Ezra cursed the line, saying it would bring death and sorrow. Ever since then, there were a lot of mishaps and accidents on these tracks, and many people lost their lives. It is believed that some of those who died haunt various spots, and that a few of the trains that crashed over the years come back as ghost trains, still rolling along these very rails we're on now.
You know, the thing about this story is it is 100% believable. I would believe that a train track was haunted by these set of events.
I would totally see like, oh, we built on someone's property, but just a little bit, and no one's going to give a shit. Like, that's a totally believable premise to me as well. All right, we're going to keep going. I looked at Hank as he blew in the... I got to stop doing that so you can fucking stop commenting on it. I looked at Hank as he blew the horn for another crossing. "Have you seen any ghosts on this line?" I asked. "Plenty," he said. "I've seen everything from headless trainmen to phantom lights and ghost trains." I didn't believe him at first, but didn't say anything. We eventually came to a curve in the track, and when we came out of it, I saw something that made my blood freeze. Coming at us was the headlight of another train. "Hank, for God's sake, man, put the brakes on," I shouted. "Don't you see the other train coming our way?" Hank responded, "Yeah, I see it. Don't worry, we'll be fine." I looked at Hank and screamed, "Are you crazy? We're about to die!" Hank just pointed straight ahead and said, "No, we're not. Get a good look at that train." I did, and saw that not only did the oncoming engine have the shape of one of the older type diesels like you see in the photos, movies, and TV shows from the 50s and 60s, but it seemed to be transparent shadow with a headlight and lighted cab windows. What the? I started to say, but then that shadow train hit us. Well, not hit us exactly, more like passed through us. Our whole cab was surrounded by shadows and streaks of light as what looked to be a passenger train passed through, and I swear I saw the pale, wispy figures of people sitting in the seats.
That's creepy.
Soon it was gone, and the cab of our engine returned to normal. What the hell was that? I exclaimed. Hank turned to me and said that was one of the ghost trains I was talking about. Well, what's the story with that ghost train? I asked. Hank sighed, the deep sigh of someone who's going to be delivering a ton of exposition yet again, and said, well, it all happened shortly after MATA was established and took over the commuter rail lines. This guy's very well spoken and remembers a lot of very vivid details. An evening inbound train had just crested the long grade we're on right now when it lost control and ran away, all downhill before crashing and piling up on the curve at the bottom. Everyone on board was killed, and the cause of the wreck was blamed on the aging equipment MATA was using back then. Heck, with only a few exceptions, most of the engines MATA got from the old railroads were 25 to 30 years old. About 30% of the coaches were used that were even older. Not long afterward, the ghosts of that train started making appearances along the stretch of track, becoming one of several ghost trains that haunt these rails. I looked at him, then out the front window of the engine. What about the people back in the cars? Do you think they just saw what we saw? I asked. Hank shrugged and said, probably, but I'm sure most of them are used to it, so I wouldn't worry too much. Our conductor is probably taking care of things right now. At this point, I will pause and say I would have said no, because it's just weird that you have a full train of people that are noticing this, and they're all just like, same shit, different day. Fucking cars in the background, dude. It drives me nuts. I wish we had a soundproof room, but whatever. We continued.
Sorry. You're funny. Funny looking. JK, LOL, love you.
We continued on to Cloverton and arrived on time. We made runs back and forth all night, and several times I saw some of the scary things that Hank told me about. I was relieved when we finally tied up in the yard, leaving the coaches on one side of the tracks and put the engine in the roundhouse. The next few nights, however, were hell. Every night run, I had at least a few creepy encounters along Line 8, all of them with Hank, who would just shrug them off as if they were nothing. But I guess that after nearly 40 years, none of the ghosts bothered him anymore. If he's a fucking ghost, I'm going to be so annoyed. After a few days, I was put on the day runs, which was a relief to me, and I didn't have to worry about seeing ghost trains or headless trainmen again. I eventually became a regular engineer and was put on the mainline run. I'm pretty content, but if the bigwigs for the M ever decide to put me on Line 8 Night Owl service, I'll quit. And
Choo-choo, motherfucker!
That is the end. Robin with her nice catchphrase at the end, too. That was written by Andrew Scolari, and I will say that had some wonderful detail put into it that made it sound like legit,
it was legit.
Authentic.
Yeah,
so.
I would believe that a train track like this was haunted. I will say it's unfortunate that the engineer he was working with that whole time was not a ghost, but
it's unfortunate it didn't have the most obvious twist ever. I'm glad it didn't. Thank you for not putting it in there.
I still really enjoyed that story. That story was good. Thank you.
Same here. So, all right. We're going to go ahead and read some more chat. But before we read chat, I think we're going to run the ad now because we're already a fucking hour in and I want to get rid of the pre-rolls. So, if you're with us on Twitch, stick around for 60 seconds. If you're not on Twitch, you will not see an ad unless you're on YouTube watching it pre-recorded. And that's happening right meow. I know I said it's hot in here, but it's really fucking hot in here.
So take off all your clothes.
My next one I'm kind of excited about because I skimmed this one. And I was just like, okay. I saw how it ended. And I was just like, I think this one might be scary.
They were dead all along.
No. Stop trying to predict twists with the worst twists ever. Dude, I got a paper cut like 4 days ago, and it still fucking hurts. Like, you can't really see it, but I need to put super glue over it, because every time I scroll wheel, it fucking hurts.
The Others was a very good movie, and they happen to be dead all along. Spoilers.
You should say spoilers before you give away the endings of things. Spoilers.
Sorry.
I hate you so much. It's so funny.
Haters gonna hate.
So I really feel like, okay, so I ordered one of these mic arms about a week and a half ago. I got it in, I set it up, and then within a day, like the base started to slide off of itself.
How's this one?
So far, so good. I think this one corrected whatever issue there was, but I feel like the first one leaned back further. But I don't know. I'll have to play with it after this. I also might have it set up in the opposite orientation that I had the previous one.
Like flip the other way.
Exactly. But I'm pretty sure this shoulder won't bend. Let's just fuck around really fast. Yeah, that'll not bend even further back. So I don't know. Either way, it's okay. I think it's because I was setting it like this. Ooh, it's not supposed to make that noise. It's supposed to be silent. Oh shit.
Really?
Yeah, the whole arm's supposed to be silent when you adjust it because it's supposed to be specifically for recording. So it's because I'm not buying the $100 one. It's because I keep buying the fucking $40 one. But whatever.
Eeks. You know what I want? Food.
What you really want?
I'm fucking hungry.
Same here. All right, I'm going to minimize that. We're going to read this stream chat now that you guys are all back. It's wonderful to have you folks back as well. Scrolling. Facebook user, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to go and check. And it's going to be the same person. Lizzie B. Yes, pretty sure. Says, I've been around since your 18th episode.
Wow. Thank you so much for being with us for so long.
We're on 176, so you've been around for a while with us, and we appreciate it. MI on YouTube says, right in the middle. I feel old, though. There's people out here that are old enough to smoke that weren't alive for 9/11.
It's nuts, dude. So
I mean, they're 20 years old right now.
I know. Isn't that nuts? I would even say, fuck nuts.
I've been silently listening until your Facebook Live.
I'm really glad that we have Facebook Live now because there are a lot of people that I know that only do Facebook.
Yeah.
There's some people I know that only do Instagram that don't do anything else. It's really interesting, and I'm glad we can be on different platforms for everyone to kind of
I've checked
join. All
the platforms we can go to through Restream, and I think if there's another one like Instagram or something like that, we might wind up doing that. They just don't have the technology for that quite yet. So.
She also says, Robin liked to post once when I was preg, but that's it. Now I'm all up in your face.
That's hilarious.
I'm totally down with you being all up in our face.
People are discussing
in a non-stocky way.
People are discussing being sus.
Ginseng says, finished episode 6 of Star Wars and about to finish episode 3 of Star Trek. I think the new Star Trek movies are surprisingly good.
I haven't seen the third one, the Beyond or whatever. I just saw they did a dirt bike jump. Don't we? I have no idea. I saw they did a dirt bike jump in the trailer, and I was like, I'll wait for that to come out on DVD. I'm not rushing to the theater for that.
I'm Western says Star Wars has Darth Vader, who could kick Spock's ass.
Well, yeah, he has the
Darth
Force.
Vader
You wouldn't
has
even have
the
to touch
Force.
him.
That's cheating.
It's like apples and oranges. Could an apple beat up an orange? I don't know. They don't have arms.
But an apple is harder and an orange is soft. So would the orange be able to take all the hits? You know what I mean? That the apple has to deal out.
Does the orange's skin thicker, though? This is the stupidest argument I've ever been a part of.
The orange's skin is thicker. I
know. I just said that.
You said, is it, though? And I'm answering your question. Yes, it is.
Then I said this is the stupidest argument I've ever been a part of.
Clive Barker reference. I don't even know who that is. ASB Bunny says, Adam looks like my partner.
Clive Barker, I think, does Hellraiser. So, and other horror movies. I'm just not thinking of.
I'm being curious says Spock always wins.
Disagree. MQI says, I just want to jump in here and say, hi, everyone. I am in YouTube land because I can't get the live to play on here. I can see the chat, but no video.
Oh, that sucks.
I had to reload it like 3 times.
Yeah, I had to
It works on Facebook. It works on both Facebook channels. It works on YouTube. It just doesn't work on Twitch because Twitch is a pain in the fucking nuts, dude. I've read every Clive Barker book.
They're always Thief was fuck.
Thief of Always was my favorite 14 to 1994? Question mark.
Clive Barker. He write wartime books? I think I
don't know. Lots of people saying hello to MQI like a lot, which is hilarious.
That he's like, I'm in YouTube. Bug everyone. JK, or it's she. Scroll.
Alexis says, gotta go. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us, Alexis.
Thank you so much. The Snark says, Squall derailed a train and turned it into a GF and called it Doom Train. What? What's a GF? Girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hot.
Think Squall as in Final Fantasy 8?
Yeah, I'm thinking Final Fantasy. I thought it's from Final Fantasy 6.
Squall is 8.
Is it 8?
100%. Because I was like, so Cloud was 7 and the new guy's name is Squall, like a more specific type of cloud.
I don't think a squall isn't a specific type of cloud, right? It's a cluster of clouds.
A squall? Like a white squall?
Yeah.
It's technically a downdraft, which is just a huge obviously not, miniaturized thunderstorm. I've covered white squalls, actually.
Oh, all right. Cool.
There's some debate here.
I know squall from Kingdom Hearts.
I'm going to stop you right there. Luke did not beat Vader. He convinced Vader to turn on the Empire. That is not true. Luke beat the fuck out of Vader in 6. He beat the shit out of him to the ground, cut off his hand.
And he took off his mask,
and then refused to kill his dad, showing that he was a Jedi. And that is when Emperor Palpatine says, "So be it, Jedi." And then electrocutes the fuck out of him. That was a 100% defeat.
Let's see.
Luke was not one-handed during that battle. He had his robot hand the same as his dad. In Empire in 5... they fight, and Vader just fucking toys with them the whole time before he cuts his hand off.
Adam's favorite
and
Star
then
Wars
tells
movie.
him, yo, dog, I fucked your mom. And he's like, what? Just kidding, I'm your dad. And he's like, oh, still gross. He's like, you're a robot.
It's not possible.
The truth of that scene, too, and I think I might have mentioned this on the show before, is that he was supposed to have a reveal, and he was supposed to say, and it was in the script, has Obi-Wan ever told you what happened to your father? He says, he told me you killed him. And then he says, no, I am your father. In the script up to that point, no one knew. It actually said in the script, Obi-Wan killed your father. That was supposed to be the twist at the end of Empire. And George Lucas knew the entire time that wasn't going to be the twist. And he went and he told the actor who played Darth Vader, which was not James Earl Jones. And he told him, like, hey, this is the line. So you see Mark Hamill's genuine reaction to, like, wait, he said the line wrong? And like, oh shit, stay in character, dog.
The Snark says, Robin, your nails are still intact. Mine are chipping. No. Look at this. Look. It's bad.
Glad you're not flipping the camera off.
Yeah, it's this one. This one's chipped. This one's pretty chipped. You can't see that one. And I just had to cut this one off today because it broke. So, yeah, now my fingers look like little stubbies. But yeah, I'm down to get them fixed whenever you want to get them fixed. Anyway.
Cool. I'm Trans says, at least no ads here, and after about 10 seconds at most, I'll start playing again.
Moonprint says it's Nuckin' Futs.
It's funny. I know Twitch is giving you guys a lot of problems, so. Ghost Dunk says, snakes don't have arms and they can kick a lot of ass.
I love when people draw arms on them, though.
They look adorable that way. So shout out to Ghost Dunk. He's my DM. Also, I might play Valheim with him later.
The third Star Trek is the best, ASB Bunny says, co-written by Simon Pegg.
That's more than enough reason to watch it right there.
I love Simon Pegg. I want to be someone stupid and just says like, Simon Pegg can have my babies.
Snarks' Patreon content, Adam and Robin dress up as
babies.
fruit and fight each other. I'd be down with that as long as I can beat the shit out of her. Clive Barker did Midnight Meat Train. I was right. Hellraiser is Clive Barker.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't think Adam's ever seen Midnight Meat Train.
I have. I've seen the last 2/3 of it like 20 times. Every time it's on TV, basically.
Yeah, I've watched it the entire way through, and it is a messed up movie. But what's his name is really good in it.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper is
actually
very good.
A really good actor. I like Bradley Cooper a lot.
I, Bunny, do not have a partner. That comment was from my sister. Ah, I see. Makes sense. Gotcha.
F8. Yep, I knew it. Snark says F8. The summons are called Guardian Forces, aka GF.
Oh.
How could we get GF mixed up with girlfriend? We're so dumb.
There's a game that I play that I think we play where one of the Bravely Default, one of the summons that you bring in is a fucking train.
Bravely Default's an amazing game if you've never played it. I think it's only on 3DS. The second one might have come out for Switch. Here's the thing I liked most about Bravely Default. The 3DS has had this thing called Street Pass, where if you pass someone else with a 3DS on them, and they had their like little Mii character set up like you have on a Wii, they would basically come to your game. It would just like basically leave a notification, but that notification would be represented on your 3DS as them like walking up, introducing themselves, and then if they're from a state or country you've never been to, it would like mark it on your map as you've met someone really here from this state.
Yeah.
Some games integrated that Street Pass so that they would bring you items and shit. And Bravely Default was like, if someone else plays Bravely Default, they can pick their favorite move, and the character that's the main character of their party would be their name. And then you could give them a little catchphrase to say when they attack. So you could use your street passes as like summons that were free. So it was fucking sweet because that game is really hard in certain spots.
It's very hard. I'm stuck right now in the first game still on like you have to beat all the bosses multiple times, and I'm on like the third or fourth time going through, and now the bosses are really freaking difficult, and I'm stuck on these two stupid chemical using bastards.
So having these street pass attacks is super important. And so I got my guy to have a badass attack, and he looks super cool, and he shows up, and I was like, babe, like street pass me and then use my attack. So she used it, and I went through and I typed in a bunch of different messages to see which ones Nintendo allowed. So my character right before he attacks goes, suck my balls! And then he attacks. I'm like, this is fucking perfect. I really hope they do street pass with the Switch Pro. All right, I think we're pretty much caught up right now. I'm going to scroll up a little bit.
See, Lizzie B says, love the nail color. I'm glad you like it. He did Nightbreed. So Clive Barker did Nightbreed, also known as Cabal. Interesting.
The Snark says, I love the idea of having Ifrit as my girlfriend. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. What is your favorite Final Fantasy summon? Do you have one?
Probably Bahamut.
Bahamut?
The dragon. I don't know if you guys ever watch College Humor or the Dorkly videos, but there's a really good one about how no one can pronounce things correctly, and it's fucking hilarious.
My cousin on my dad's side, my younger cousin on my dad's side, he always called it Bahamut.
It's like Pizza Hut, but it's a cousin.
But it was Bahamut, right?
Bahamut.
Do you say Bahamut? I don't even know.
I don't say it out loud. I only ever read it. So
yeah, I only ever read it. That's the thing. Mine is Shiva. I think she's hot as fuck. All right.
I like how you asked a question because you just wanted to say that yours is this one that's hot as fuck.
Yeah, she's... Dude, you've seen her, right?
Shiva?
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Fuck, she's a blue goddess.
If you scroll to the bottom, the rest of the stuff is going to scroll past. So once we come back to it, we won't know where we stopped.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'm going to finish. Fuck me. Damn it.
She's going to finish. Fuck her. Let's not make any dirty jokes, but it's really hard with the stuff that Robin says. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I'll go ahead and mark it again. It's like you always burp. It's weird. You always burp right before you're about to read. It's like your body just knows. It's like when you're going to poop. You're in the car and you're like, can't shit now. And your body's like, all right, we'll hold it in. And then you get like a minute away from home and your body's like, we're just going to start the process now. You better get there in time.
Chunkster says, for nails, go for the dip. It's sturdy and very long lasting. I've never done a nail dip. That's when you dip it in powder and then they do your nails out. Maybe I'll try that next time.
I haven't either. Great. I've never done that.
All right. So for the final story of the episode.
I still have one.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It would be great if you could stop fucking like just going way off the rails with the chat.
All right. So the next story I'm going to read is called The Rake, and it goes something like this. Well, it obviously goes like this. I'm literally reading the story. Okay.
It goes exactly like this.
During the summer of 2003, the year Adam graduated
That was my graduation summer. Pretty sweet summer.
Events in the northeastern United States involving a strange, human-like creature sparked brief social media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. Blackout probably meaning like stop talking about it.
It was local media, by the way.
What did I say?
Social media. It basically didn't exist in the summer of 2003 yet. I think just like MySpace.
Oh, okay.
And I think maybe Facebook had started to kick off. But...
Brief local media interest. Social media works too. Doesn't matter. It's a chainmail. Anyway.
What?
Get it? Chainmail, MySpace, because MySpace existed back then. It's a chainmail. Got it. I'm joking. Anyway. Little or
I'm
no.
wearing chainmail right now.
I want to learn how to make it. I think that'd be really cool. Little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in rural New York State, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions are no longer on record, the memories remained powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dated between the 12th century and present day, spanning 4 continents. Okay. There are only 8 in the entire world, right?
12th century is a long fucking time ago. Did you say continents?
Yeah.
How many? Sure it's 7.
Is it 7?
Yeah.
Close enough.
If I'm wrong, then I'll feel really dumb, but
it doesn't fucking matter. Sure I don't know. Asia, North America, South America, Australia, Africa.
Antarctica.
Australia.
I
already said that.
Did you?
Yes.
You say Europe?
Europe.
That's 7?
That's 7.
You're done.
Yeah.
And the moon.
And the moon, that other continent. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book. All right, so the book is called The Rake, and there's a suicide note dated 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage.
Ass
ass usage. No. Some things I say that come out of my mouth, I'm just like, why would you say that?
I'm just like, mark it. Coming out of the show.
I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and I felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. This note was found in the same wooden box where 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Linny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name.
That sucks.
No. A journal entry translated from Spanish from 1880. I have experienced the greatest horror. I have experienced the greatest... Oh, fuck.
It's terror. You want to go get your glasses? Aren't they hanging on the thing right next to you?
They are. No, those are blue light glasses.
I am indeed a blue light. Dude, I was watching GTA RP last night. I watched Esfand, who's Captain Sheriff Cornwall. And he fucking passed out. And these guys decided to sing to him to make him feel better. And they just sang Blue. And they're all so fucking good. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. Marking it. You can keep going.
I experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. And an unintelligible text. That's terrifying. Then there's a Mariners blog, not the baseball players, from 1691, which team didn't exist back then. He came to me in my sleep, from the foot of my bed. I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again at the request of the Rake.
It's a weird name for a monster.
Oh.
The focus is on your monitor right now. That's why I'm like...
Whoops. Whoop, there it is.
It's hard doing a 2-camera system.
All right. Then there's a post from a witness from 2006. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip to Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets. Smart move.
This sounds authentic all of a sudden.
Only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him I thought he got out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark... I know. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man or a large, hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something.
Have you ever considered the reason this thing is so angry is because it's a naked man, but you describe it as a large, naked dog? If someone saw me naked and they're like, that could be a naked dog... I would be pretty pissed too.
You are really hairy, though.
I am. That's true.
For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. My husband was peering over his arm and knee, tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed and then crawled quickly in the flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably closer to 5. It just seemed like a while. So this thing is up to the husband's face, but isn't he holding his wife?
He's in the fetal position. He's not holding his wife.
Okay,
He's holding his knees.
Gotcha. So this thing was just looking at my husband. The creature then placed its hand on his knee and ran into the hallway, leading to the kids' room. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over about 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara.
That's fucked up.
The creature had run down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is the rake." What the fuck? My husband drove his car into a lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. He did not survive. So they see this thing, then their daughter's injured, she dies, but the husband's trying to take their daughter to the hospital. He dies by driving into the lake. That's messed up. All right. Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed up either. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town over who had a similar story. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature we now referred to as the rake. It took the 4 of us about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believe to be accounts of the rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the rake. That was the last entry in the log, which is the one that I read. There were, however, many instances where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoken to, my daughter included. This led us to wonder if the rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night, every night, for 2 weeks. I would tediously scan through the sound of me rolling around in my bed each day when I woke up. By the time of the 2nd week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. This took almost an hour every day. What's funny about that is whenever I watch those Paranormal Activity movies, when they record what's happening and while they sleep, I always wonder why they never check daily.
Yeah, they're kind of idiots in those movies. So it's like,
oh my gosh,
we're having this paranormal thing happen. We're going to record all these different things,
but never check.
Also, I'm just not going to screw up through the tape. And if I do see something crazy, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm sure it was shadows or some shit.
On the first day of the 3rd week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. I haven't let anyone listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before, and now I believe that it spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason, the voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that must have gone through my daughter's head make me very upset. I've not seen the rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know and fear that one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me. It's super creepy. There's a picture of it included with the story that we'll post later as well.
Yeah, that one's really good. It's really, really creepy. It's very morbid.
It's very straightforward.
There doesn't seem to be any way to prevent this from happening, which always sucks when you have a story where it's like, also, if this happened, you're fucked. This is just something you can't fight. But either way, I thought that one was really good.
Yeah, I agree. And that one is credited to a Brian Somerville. So thank you for writing that story.
Good job, Brian. All right, so we're going to scrub through the stream chat, and then we're going to get to the last story of the night, because it's already past 8. And I haven't read my second one yet.
Yeah, and we are usually done with the entire live stream by 8:30.
Or at the very least on the Marvels.
That first story just took a long time. What's funny is that on the website, it's like 8-minute read. It was much longer than 8 minutes.
It's like an 80-minute read. Took fucking forever.
The Snark says Shiva is fierce as fuck. I love her. Granted, she is ice, so I feel like she doesn't damage a lot of different creatures in the game. But I think she's a badass. I think Ifrit, because he's fire, does so much more damage. But he's a weaker summon. I don't know. I love those games.
Emma on YouTube says, I can't tell you how geeky, obsessed I am with Star Wars. My 4-year-old likes to watch, quote, the old ones, referring to 1977 to 1983. Obviously, I'm raising him right, LOL. Sorry, late in the combo. That's okay.
Yeah, no, we love Star Wars.
I had someone try and defend the prequels as being better than the original trilogy. And I was just like, there's nothing better about the prequels except for like the choreography and like the CGI, but that's not what Star Wars is about. And they're like, I think you'd feel differently if you watched behind the scenes. And I was like, I have watched behind the scenes shit. And they're like, oh, well, I haven't. It's like, then shut the fuck up.
The first one I ever watched was episode 1.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's a horrible way to get into Star Wars.
I was in middle school. That was the first one I ever watched.
Watch the Red Letter Media review of episode 1.
We've watched
it's
those
almost
too.
as long as the entire movie, but it's so brilliant. Despite the fact the guy does this bit where he's like some weird nerdo who's like kidnapped someone. But the actual review itself is so fucking good. All right, gonna scroll a little bit.
I love Star Wars. They're really freaking good.
MI says, confession, I like to watch episode 1 through 3 because of the storylines. LOL. Don't yell at me. Storylines are just, they make no
They're
sense.
so
like
bad. Metachlorians!
Political blockade, but why? Oh, like we didn't decide to think about that. There's 4 climaxes happening simultaneously, and the only thing anyone wants to see is the fucking lightsaber fight.
Aw, Chunkster said their coworker got a Sheba and named her Evie. They're so cute.
That's adorable.
That's a really good
name for
name. Man, we should get a black Sheba and name it Umbreon.
That'd be good.
That's the dark one. Yeah.
Lizzie B says, Clive Barker also did Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. I fucking love that movie. It's so good.
Really? I've never seen it.
It's really good. It's a horror movie with that's the name of that fucking dude from The Phantom. He's also in Zoolander as his friend. Billy Zane. That's his name. Billy Zane.
Chunkster says, I can really hear the motorcycles. I see why Adam complains a lot about it.
It's fucking awful, dude. They're such assholes. Shrimp dick losers.
It's just like...
It's so annoying. It's so unnecessary. It's obviously a residential area. Like
we got Grubhub, though, the other day, and I could hear our Grubhub driver making a U-turn in the street.
He made a U-turn like an asshole,
Yeah.
too.
I was like, are you fucking serious? It's like 11:30. Granted, I shouldn't be ordering Grubhub at 11:30.
Glitch
but
Grim
still.
says, I prefer moving leaf machine versus rake. I think we all do. When I hear the word rake, I mean, this is probably because I'm from Vegas, but when I hear the word rake, I think of what you use to collect people's chips. Like, fucking A.
Oh, fuck. Shit. Oh, God, no towel.
I think of what you use to collect chips when you're pulling stuff off like a roulette table. I like made the fucking rake motion and I hit my stupid summer shandy and it spilled all over my desk mat and my wireless keyboard. So hopefully it still works. What a wonderful stream we've had tonight. Huh? Sorry, Lilith. And my phone. Oh, good. It's all over my phone, too. My phone will smell like beer.
Your phone's waterproof, though, right?
I don't know. I sincerely don't know. All right, we're going to keep scrolling through and see what else we got here.
Ew.
Glitch says, no, you get the fuck out of my bed unless you're down for snuggles, then we can talk. That's
Ginseng
hilarious.
says, I'm lurking while I listen and work on scholarship essays, reread, and edit.
Yeah, don't forget to edit. Says I'll be back for marbles. Samantha over there on YouTube says, Adam, my mom says, woo! I tweeted at you about it a few weeks ago. LO, what's your favorite part of the podcast? LMAO.
That's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure I remember it, and then I tweeted back, and then you said your mom was like super happy about it, which is super awesome.
Yeah. I'm Beef Train says, the monster under the bed looking for feet, but it's naked. Does it attack the feet hoping to get the blankets to cover it from the cold?
Maybe it's trying to hide under the monster, or away from the monster under its bed. That's why it wants the blanket from you.
My sister's, ASB Bunny says, my sister's gone to her new job. My nephew is asleep on my bed, and I'm here with you guys. Life is pretty good at the moment.
Nice.
Cute.
Good.
Cute. I think I drank too much. Oh, shit.
Are you drunk?
No, but like,
slow?
I can feel it. Yeah,
You definitely replied slow, so.
Yeah.
That thing is way too fucking strong, dude. You need to learn to make a mixed drink.
I don't know how
That's
to make
disgusting.
anything. You're disgusting.
Don't try and learn, though.
All I really want is
food.
Yeah. I haven't really eaten anything today, and I'm hungry.
You're going to say fuck nuts, but you couldn't figure out how to turn into hungry.
Yeah.
Also, please center yourself. You do this thing where you lean super far out of frame, so. Gonna scroll a little bit. I'm watching says that's it. We gotta get all the spooky friends together and have a snuggle competition to find the best snuggler.
I'm the best.
She's very. I had to like take her arm off me the other day because I was like, "You are hurting my stomach. You're squeezing me so fucking tight."
I'm really gropey when I hug. Not hug, cuddle. When I cuddle in bed, I'm very gropey.
She's very gropey when she hugs too. Samantha says Demon Knight is the best. That movie's
Lizzie
really
B says
good.
I saw the first one when I was 3 and it was like 5 years old by then. Is that like episode 4?
I don't know.
Or no, there's no way.
I don't know what movie.
I think episode 1. Star Wars episode 1. When I was 3.
There's no way. It's got to be episode 4 that they're referring to. Because if they're 3 and they're saying they graduated in 1998, there's no way they saw
gotcha.
episode 1,
I see what
which
you're
released
saying.
like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And then they said, Billy Zane.
Who's Billy Zane?
God damn it. Are you fucking kidding me? I just said this 5 minutes ago. He's the guy from Demon Knight. He's the guy from Zoolander. He's the guy from The Phantom. He's the guy
Which
from
guy
Titanic.
in Zoolander?
He's his friend who's referred to by his actual name right before they have the walk-off.
Oh, see, I don't know.
Listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's a cool guy. No. And then someone referred to him as Billy Zang. It's Z-A-N-E. That was Glitch. Come on, Glitch. You're better than that. I'm going to scroll. Samantha says, did you ever watch Return to Oz? I have not watched Return to Oz.
I have not either, I've never seen Wizard of Oz either.
I've seen the Oz, which has Zooey Deschanel before she got super famous, which is called Tin Man. And I think it's loosely based off of one of the Oz books since there's like 8.
Just throw this in the washer after.
Throw what?
The
mouse pad?
Yeah.
It'll melt the back of it.
No, it hasn't. I threw that other one that I have on my desk in there before. What? Or not that one. The other one that you had before. The one that had the Starcraft one.
Starcraft?
The Starcraft one.
All right. We're at the bottom now. I'm Beatrice. Robin's pout. I want her hunger now too. She pouts about fucking everything, dude. It's like, I would really like you to not touch that button that says launch missiles. She'd pout. She'd be like, what is red? I want to press it. All right. You're not going to read anything else?
I thought you were still reading.
It was dead silent.
Chunks just says, same here, Robin. I get handsy when I cuddle with my boo. I get really handsy when I drink, so I want to just grope way more than I grope now.
She groped me so fucking hard yesterday. I had red marks around my boob.
Oh, no, that wasn't groping. That was me pinching because you're being annoying.
There's no difference between her groping and her pinching. MI says, haha, I mean the storyline for Anakin and Luke. It helps me enjoy the OG movies even more. I can't get into The Mandalorian, though. Mandalorian is awesome.
Oh my god, I love The Mandalorian.
Set between 6 and 7, it's disconnected enough where it's its own story, but it connects enough where you get nostalgic.
The thing with The Mandalorian, though, is it is different. And I think that's why some people don't like it, is because it doesn't
It's a Western, dude.
Yeah.
It's straight up a Western.
It is nothing like the movies. It is very, very different.
It's cool because it's like this character who has stakes outside of being a Jedi, where it's like Jedi can just deflect the blaster fire. It's like, this guy can't. Like, if he gets shot with it, it's going to fucking hurt him. So I really do like it. Gonna go ahead and look at some more stuff over here. ASB Bunny says, yes, Tin Man is great. I really like Tin Man. They also say Return to Oz is so scary. I did not realize that.
Lizzie B says, Return to Oz has to be watched. And then says, once I was listening to the podcast on my back and I had small sleep paralysis episode. Was paralyzed watching a cat walking on my window frame. There was no cat.
Oh, shit. I just assume it's Lizzie B when something said that doesn't have an author on it. So, okay. It looks right. Gonna go ahead and minimize that again. We're pretty much caught up, so I'm gonna go ahead and read my last story of the show, which is, by the way, my longest. So,
we're gonna be here till like 9 o'clock.
Maybe next time you don't talk for 20 minutes about your favorite summon.
Maybe next time, why don't you fuck off?
Or you just mute your fucking computer.
Why don't you mute your fucking computer?
I do. That's why you can't hear
fuck
anything.
You.
All right, this has been fun. Gonna mute it.
I'll mute you.
I'm gonna mute your mic and I mute you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into.
I'm gonna mute your life.
Fuck my life right now, dude. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move into my last and the last creepypasta of the show. Sorry, I got distracted by someone else's distraction. And this one's called Please Stay Awake. And having read some of this already, it kind of sounds a little bit like Robin's. So we're going to go ahead and jump in there. Dark, cold, and eerie.
That's my soul, yes.
Those are the only words I can come up with to describe the house in which I had lived with my family for the majority of my life. and a fucking motorcycle goes by, just cranking it in a 35 zone, die.
He's jerking it out
crash and die. Okay, I don't want him to die. I want him to crash and then somehow have his finances get all fucked up so he can never afford a bike again. Fuck him. Okay, I'm
Bikes are cheaper than cars, though.
Yes, they are. Mostly dark, blistering cold during the winter, and always eerie. Sometimes there would be strange noises coming from the cellar, too. It had often given me the creeps, though. I would never admit that to my mother. I'd figure I was too old to let some silly noises scare me anyway. I had been trying to act like the man of the house ever since my dad left when I was 7.
Aww.
I had always hoped I would never turn out like my father, whom I hated with a burning passion. As far as he goes, I suppose I'd better just leave it at that. I live in the house with my mother, Linda. That's my mom's name too. And my uncle, Kevin. That's not my uncle's name.
That's my dad's name.
On a vast piece of land in Steinen, Indiana. Steinen was a tiny piece of shit in the middle of nowhere. That's how you know you're from Indiana, is when you describe where you're from as a tiny piece of shit in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, that's fucked up, dude.
Nobody, can you like not aim your face at the desk and talk into the microphone?
Sorry.
Just get off your phone. Are you in your emails?
Yeah.
Lock your phone. Jesus. Nobody liked living there. I didn't have any friends because I was homeschooled, and I'd never even seen another kid my age in Steinen.
It's interesting when people are homeschooled because they just don't have that experience, that social interaction with other kids their age. It's really, I don't know. I'm
glad we're bringing this up in the middle of a fucking pasta time.
Sorry, I just want other people to hang out with other kids.
And I'd never even seen another kid my age in Steinen since we almost never left the house unless my mom had to go into town to buy groceries. However, I was always very close to Uncle Kevin. When I was little, he would tell me ghost stories right before bed, which my mother hated. Stop it, Kev. You're going to give him nightmares, she would snap. Oh, I did get nightmares indeed, and sometimes it seemed as though the nightmares refused to end. They crept into the back of my mind like a spider crafting its web. The story he told most often was one about a monster with a contorted body and black eyes. According to legend, in quotes, as Uncle Kevin called it, even though I know he made it up himself, the monster would come into your room if you were awake past your bedtime and hide in your closet, watching you the whole night. Of course, this was just a silly little tale that Kevin would tell me, so I wouldn't stay up late. Even so, I can't tell you how many times that horrible creature has popped into my head over the years.
That's the point of cautionary tales, to scare you to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, scare you into doing something that you should do or you shouldn't do, to not do the thing you shouldn't do. On this particular night, I decided to go to bed in an attempt to sleep off a pounding headache. I lied down on my icy bed and sank underneath the covers, hiding my face from whatever may have been lurking inside of my head. After setting my glasses down on the nightstand beside my bed, I reached over and flicked the light off. The darkness made me feel alive in a very strange way, almost as though I was mesmerized by the nothingness. As I looked around the room, seeing almost nothing but the pitch black darkness surrounding me, I felt entranced, as if something was forcing me to look. Of course, there was nothing to look at least not with the eyes. Go ahead.
How do you look at something without?
I don't know. I figured they were going to tell us here in the next fucking sentence, dog. Hold your horses. The eyes. This was something you could only witness within the deepest corridors of your mind. There was the answer right there. The part of your... She does this when we watch movies, too. It's like, have you met Mr. Baxter? She would just be like, who's Mr. Baxter? While they're talking over who Mr. Baxter is. I'm like, I'll just rewind it now. All right. Gonna keep going, marking it. It doesn't matter. We're like fucking 60 edits already, so.
It's a lot of edits.
The part of your mind that you always dread visiting and can never seem to return from. Out of nowhere, I began to hear scratches upon the window above my bed. My eyes immediately burst open, and I feel like I was unable to close them again. What the fuck was that? I asked myself. Nothing. Of course it was nothing. It couldn't have been anything, right? Right. Just my mind playing tricks on me in the dark. No big deal. But in a moment of childish curiosity, I decided to I decided to peer out the window just to make sure I was hearing nothing more than a tree branch brushing up against the glass. But then it hit me like a bag of bricks. There's no tree next to my window. Still, I decided it would be better to sleep it off and think about it more in the morning. It was probably all in my head. It had to be. I found it unusually difficult to fall asleep that night, as if somebody or something was trying to keep me up. I woke up the next morning with that sound still locked in my brain. It had to have been coming from somewhere, but where? Shit, I had no idea. But then I remembered the cellar. I built up as much courage as I could muster and slowly crept down into the abyss. Jesus, I hadn't been down there in a year, maybe longer. I had almost forgotten what it looked like. Nothing but clouds of cobwebs and stacks of cardboard boxes shoved against the walls. I rustled through a couple of boxes until I stumbled upon a picture I'd drawn when I was a child. It was a sketch of a grotesque creature. It definitely wasn't human. This thing barely even had a face, just dark black eyes and no mouth. Its body was tall and thin and was contorted into a shape that I had never even seen before. The more I looked at the drawing, the more I was reminded of that story my uncle used to tell me. It appeared to be raining above the creature, and toward the bottom of the paper I had scribbled, "Please stay awake," in giant letters. I didn't know what the hell that was supposed to mean, but I folded up the paper and stuffed it into my pocket. I quickly made... This is like good. Like the plot just thickened right there.
This is like a good story.
I quickly made my way up the staircase into the kitchen and went about my day as usual, keeping that drawing in my mind, trying to remember what it meant and why I'd drawn it in the first place. I looked outside and noticed that it had begun to rain. Uh-oh. I didn't want to think about the creature any longer, so I walked into my dimly lit room and plopped onto my bed. I fell asleep before I even knew it.
It's like they drew what was going to happen that day.
Like a long time ago.
Yes.
When I awoke, it was exactly 3 a.m.
Of course it was.
This night was colder and darker than usual. The farm was soaked with rain from earlier in the evening. The moon was full and radiant. It almost didn't look real. For an instant, I glanced out my bedroom window and I could swear I saw something walking quickly through the yard. When it spotted me, it slunk behind a tree as if it were trying to hide from me. It looked exactly like what I had drawn when I was a child. I ran into Uncle Kevin's room and began shaking him awake. "Kevin! Kevin!" He rubbed the rheum out of his eyes. R-H-E-U-M? Is that like the crap that you have in your eyes when you're sleeping?
I guess. Maybe the REM room?
I don't know.
REM?
"What's up, bud?" "It's late," he asked, bewilderment at my excitement. I looked him in his bloodshot eyes and softly said, "I saw someone in the yard." Kevin looked at me with hesitation. "No, you probably just saw an animal. Get back to bed." Wow, way to be an adult.
Right?
I know what I saw. This was no animal, or at least not one that I had ever seen, not even in my worst fucking nightmares. I knew I couldn't tell him exactly what I had seen, as he would never believe me. "No, Kevin, it was not an animal. Please, it was a man. I think. Look, please just go and check." Uncle Kevin leapt up and grabbed his shotgun from under the bed. "All right, come on. Show me where he is. Let's try not to wake your mom. I'll scare the fucker off." We went outside and I pointed to the tree. I whispered to Kevin I saw him go behind that tree. My uncle bravely walked up to the tree and peered around it. Nothing. He searched the entire farm for well over half an hour, but he never found anyone or anything. "Let's go back in, bud. There's no one out here. Keep the doors locked tonight." Just tonight? Keep the doors locked, period. He was wrong. I knew there was something out there. I crawled into bed and threw the covers over my face. I could hear the blistering wind coming from outside. It pierced my ears with a whistle that I thought only dogs could detect. Suddenly, I heard a tapping sound upon my window.
No.
The sound grew louder with each tap. I tightened the blankets around my body. The taps slowly turned into knocks. Louder and faster the knocks became. The knocks turned into bangs. I thought the glass was going to break. Then, out of nowhere, it stopped. No more taps, no more knocks, no more bangs, no more wind. I was relieved. Suddenly, I heard a low, chilling voice in my ear.
No.
"Please stay awake."
Fuck that.
It couldn't be. No, it couldn't be.
Time to take some sleeping pills.
I ran
Go to
into the
sleep.
hallway, ready to make my... God damn it, Robin. I ran into the hallway, ready to make my way to my mother's room when I saw it. Whatever it was, I still don't know. It was holding Kevin's lifeless, mangled body in its arms. You heard Robin react because she reads my story before I get to read it. Carved deeply into my uncle's torso were the words, "Please stay awake." I tried to let out a scream, but only silence filled the dead air. I sprinted through the door of my mother's bedroom and saw her body lying in the middle of the floor. She was covered in blood and her left arm had been ripped straight out of its socket. Written next to her in her own blood were the words, "Please stay awake." I began to sob, and when I turned around, the creature was gone. I don't know where the hell it went, and I'm not sure I want to. I closed my eyes as tightly as I could and let out the loudest scream I could muster. I called the police and lied down on the cold, now blood-soaked floor, waiting for them to arrive. It felt like hours. Finally, the police showed up to find me in the fetal position next to my mother's corpse.
That's so messed up,
I
dude.
told them everything I saw. I showed them my drawing. I told them about the taps, the knocks, the bangs. I told them what I'd seen outside, but of course, they wouldn't hear a word of it. Why would they? All they could see was a lonely kid hovering over his dead mother, her blood covering my clothes almost as much as it covered the floor. It's cold in this cell. It's dark and lonely. The silence is the only saving grace. Constant, peaceful silence. Tonight, it's raining outside. It's colder and darker and wetter than ever. But unfortunately, I must stop writing now. I just heard a tap on my window.
So they were arrested for killing their mom.
Correct. That's what it sounds like to me, at least. And now they're in jail. And now this thing's coming after them.
They're either in jail or in a mental institution.
And it's a cell, so I think that makes it sound like jail.
Jail?
Because I don't think they call them cells when you're in a mental institution. But either way, it's definitely super terrifying. I have way more questions about the creature, and I just want to know a little bit more. But either way, it was a really good twist when they went in the basement and they found like the whole creature that was from the uncle's stories. Like, how did the uncle know about the creature?
Yes, I want to know more about the uncle's tie to the creature because he kept telling the story of this entity.
And did the creature kill them because they stayed awake, or did the creature kill them because they fell asleep? Because if he wrote "Please stay awake" on the piece of paper when he was a kid, was that a message that he was trying to tell himself, or was he writing that because that's just something the creature used to say all the time to him when he was apparently a kid? I don't fucking know.
Who knows?
And the creature's still sending this message because it's not like Kevin carved the message into his own chest, you know?
Right.
So it's like, is it better to stay awake because if you stay awake past your bedtime, then the creature can come get you? I don't know. Lots of questions about this one, but either way, I thought it was really good. Definitely morbid, definitely creepy. So.
Makes me want to go to sleep on time tonight.
Right? Which never happens. She goes to sleep between 4 and 5 every single night. So, well, most nights. But yeah, that is the last creepypasta of the episode. So let's look over into stream chat, see what you wonderful folks had to say.
You do that, I'm going to go pee.
And then I'll fire up marbles on stream. Well, Robin shakes the desk one last time because she rises from stuff by putting her weight on it and then pushing off of it. All right, let's scroll a little bit here and see what's going on. Hailstorm says, I don't really like cuddling. It's not necessary to like cuddling. Chunkster says, have you all watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier? It was good. We watched it. We enjoyed it as well. All right, gonna keep scrolling here. Hailstorm says, Robbing is choosing violence tonight. She chooses violence most nights. Scroll. I'm wishing says, I love cuddling unless I'm hot, then please don't touch me. I'm like always hot. So when I get cuddled by someone who's like a furnace like Robin, I'm just like, I will do this for love. Nevcore says, I don't like cuddling either. Chunkster says, I was told when I'm drunk, I give out bear hugs to all my friends and very cuddly with my girlfriends. That's hilarious. Ghost Tongue says, why did you say that name? Chunkster says, same here. I hate how humid it gets in Virginia. All right. Facebook user says, LOL, who the fuck likes living in fucking Indiana? LOL, planning on moving to Michigan. That's hilarious. Honestly, I have friends that like living in Indiana, and I'm just like, that's cool, man. Like, I just, I grew up there. I wanted to move and see other things and experience new cultures and, different places. And it's almost like they don't like the fact that I felt that way because I'm supposed to only want to stay in one place at all times, which is just madness to me. All right. Checking my camera really fast. Autofocus is still on, but it doesn't seem to be autofocusing. Whatever. All right. Scrolling. Yeah, when I'm reading, she's reading ahead on my story, which she'll do to my script sometimes. And if I mention, I'm like, stop reading my script. She'll get really mad, like, I wasn't reading your script. And I have to edit that out all the time. All right. Gonna scroll. ASP Bunny says, spoons are used by people with chronic illnesses to manage how much they can do. Keep scrolling. MQI says, bye guys, back to YouTube land. Jealous of all you Marvel players. Gonna scroll some more. People talking back and forth with one another. Some suggestions on popping over and just typing in ! play to get your Marvel on there and then going back to YouTube to watch it. That's a really good idea. Chunkster says to Robin, your reactions are gold. They really are.
Why? What did I say?
No, it's just like the way you're like, oh my god, like right before what was going to happen happens. Hailstorm says, is it that he's dreaming at the end of the story? It could be, but it's like he was dreaming, then he calls the cops, then later on he's in his cell because he's apparently been arrested. So it's just like you got to the climax, and I think this happens with a lot of short stories that are, creepypastas or online because they're not like professional writers doing it. It's like they blow their load too fast. Like, this happened, and then the denouement is like super short, and you're like, I have so many fucking questions. And like that's why you go back and rework something and reread it and go over it multiple times so you can really flesh that shit out. So that twist in the middle, I really enjoyed that. I am Beef Trainer says to Hailstorm, I assure you that you're not the only one with those thoughts and feelings of anxiety. I had that until I'm What's for Dinner hugged me in his arms for the first time, and I knew the anxiety was just that, and I could let it go.
That's so sweet.
And then Hailstorm had said, I have a lot of anxiety. I always think that I am the problem, and I have to make the other people happy.
You know what? You get to a point in your life where you're just like, fuck other people and think about your mental health and how you want to handle a situation to make it. It's like your life is not made to please everyone else.
Yes.
So
two things. Well, first, I'm going to read something from the chat. The Snark says, he is the creature. Each time he sleeps, he becomes it. I would think that
mayhaps.
too. But he saw the creature like away from him. You know what I mean? Like holding his uncle.
But sometimes you don't think about the fact that you're doing something and you think it's just something else is doing it. It's not me. But it's like,
it just doesn't, the verbiage of the story itself doesn't lend to he did it. We had one from Vivian. Who hasn't been with us in a couple weeks. What the fuck, Vivian? But we had one from Vivian who had one where it was just like, it was them. The creature was them the whole time. And that verbiage was a little bit more appropriate for like, it was the creature. They were the creature the whole time. Like where they start barfing up like parts of their
roommate or whatever.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was going to say about like having anxiety and feeling like you need to fix other people or make other people happy. This is something I vehemently believe. And we've had situations in our life in the past, and I certainly have, where I've been told by friends, like, this is just how they are. Like, you need to deal with it. You need to be the bigger person, things like that. That sort of mindset and that sort of attitude is exactly what makes people feel obligated to keep toxic people in their life or keep abusive people in their life that they feel like they need to please because that person has some sort of deficiency that it's somehow your responsibility to make up for.
It's not.
Nothing could be further from the truth. They will never fix themselves until someone tells them this is wrong, or just decides like, I'm not putting up with this shit and walks away. I've cut off members of my family who I'll probably never speak to again. I've cut off my dad before for multiple years because it's like...
For multiple years,
it's like, look, there's something wrong right now that I can't fix, but you are just in a state of mind that I cannot be around. It's a level of toxicity that's just way beyond like comprehension. So I just told him like, once you get better and you want to talk to me, you can come talk to me. But until then, like, I don't want to see you again. I don't want to hear from you again. Leave me the fuck alone. And it got really bad. And in my younger days, people would have like told me where I was from, especially like, oh, like he's your dad. You can't do that. It's like, yes, I fucking can, because it's my life. I'm going to control my life. And I am not, in no way, shape, or form am I meant to complete someone that has no desire to improve on themselves whatsoever. So any anxiety that you get from thinking you need to make other people happy, if you in your natural state doesn't make them happy, that's their problem. It's not your problem at all.
Laura Ann says, sometimes you really need to put yourself first. Mental health is no joke. Gotta love yourself. Absolutely. What happened to all this?
It does that sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Robin's
looking over at the audio sample that just sort of like goes completely blank, and I think it does it like right around the 2-hour mark. It puts a line through it. And then you can't see what came previously, so it always makes you think like, oh, you lost everything that you just recorded.
ASB Bunny says, it's the first time babysitting my nephew alone, and I'm so nervous. You're fine. I'm sure you're doing a great job, especially if he's just sleeping. You're fine. Don't stress about it. Watch some Netflix while you're also keeping an eye on them. Watch it in the same room. Use your phone. I don't know. I watch stuff on my phone. I'm sure you could do the same. I don't know. Who knows?
I love Robin advice. I have a phone. I watch stuff on my phone. I'm going to move this to this window so we can keep reading what you folks have to say.
As you pull up marbles. If you folks are new to the stream, Adam's going to pull up marbles here. Marbles is something we do at the end of our streams to kind of roll or calm down, roll down, kind of chill out.
Roll?
It's what we do to chill out at the end of the streams. Sometimes the stories for story time and things like that get A little depressing, a little sad. These
really intense sometimes.
Yeah, these Pastatimes weren't that bad, but we still like to chill out and have fun with you guys and play a little game, and this is our way of doing that. We do 2 marbles races each time we race. There are winners, obviously. Whoever gets first each round gets some Scaryish merch. By merch, I mean either a coaster or a sticker that I pack up and mail out myself. So if you folks want to join, it's absolutely free. You do have to be on Twitch. A Twitch account also is free. So if you guys want to do that, feel free and hop over to Twitch and join us for a game of Merbers.
Indeed. So there's an update that's installing right now. We've probably made our way into a new season. It should be done soon. It says 13.6 megabytes, but Steam is saying that it's going to take 12 minutes. I don't think it'll take that long.
I'm Beef Trainer says, reflection in the mirror, going off what the Snark said. So maybe the creature was just seeing a reflection of them, or the person was seeing a reflection of themselves.
Holding their uncle?
Yeah. You never know.
You figure you would put something in the writing, though, that stated there was a mirror at the end of the hallway.
You don't know.
That's sort of my point. You have to make a lot of assumptions that are taken out of the story that are not spoken at all to be like, maybe this is the twist. And that's when I'm just like, it sounds more like the creature killed his family, and then at the end he starts hearing the tapping on the window because the creature's now coming for him while he's in whatever hospital or jail cell.
Lizzie B says, I've called and been called toxic to family, and I don't speak to them anymore. I don't know if I think maybe might have my own toxic traits. I think everybody has a little bit of fault when it comes to different things. But sometimes you just need to take care of numero uno and take care of your own mental health, because sometimes you just don't need that in your life.
Yeah. What I will say is, like, there is like obvious things where you can admit, like, you know, I'm not the best at this, or like, hey, I'm like, you can point out the things that you know are wrong with yourself. But if you just know that you bring toxicness to a situation or toxicity or whatever,
take yourself out of it.
Take yourself out of it, because it's like, there are certain days where I'm just like, I'm gonna walk away from this. It's like, because I'm gonna get really fucking angry, and if that happens, like, I'm not sure how I'm going to handle this. And if it's not going to be, if I can't guarantee myself I'll handle something in the best of ways, I'll just remove myself from the situation entirely. Just because I don't want to get to the point where it's like, I will bring shit up. I will throw things in someone's face when I'm like super pissed off, to just be like, you are wrong. You are wrong now. You were wrong before. You're always wrong. And I fucking hate you. And when I get to that point, I'm just like, all right, how about I walk away until I feel calm enough to deal with the situation? Just be like, all right, let's get through this without destroying a relationship or burning any bridges. But when you're around people that just are always sort of feeding negativity into your life and being a fucking asshole, and they don't respect you, or you just always sincerely feel like they require you to be a certain way for them to feel okay about you, like, fuck them. Like, that shit drives me nuts. Like, no one else is in charge of you. And when you behave that way, it's because people are control freaks. And it's because there's something about themselves that they can't control, so they feel by trying to control you that somehow makes their, like, shitty trait better.
There's a line from Princess Diaries I wish I could remember right now, but it's something where, like, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And it's a quote by FDR's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah, so.
There's a good line from Crazy Rich Asians where her husband cheats on her because he's like, she has to hide the fact that she's rich because he's insecure about it, and then he cheats on her because he's always feeling bad about the fact that he doesn't like make enough money. And she tells him, like, I can't make you feel like a man. No one can do that.
Steven's over here like, hello, I like this topic.
It's true though, man. Like, I have cut out toxic people from my life to the point where I have a system for it now. So when I recognize that people are being fucking toxic, I'm just like, you better be careful. Like, if you like being around here, if you like talking to me, if you like anyone that's in my family, you better be careful, because either we'll completely cut you off or I will go in on you and you will never want to be around me again. Let's switch over to marbles and stop talking about this, because I don't want anyone to think I'm crazy. I fiercely defend my family and friends. All right, exclamation point vote, then a number that corresponds with the track you would like to race.
Pew.
That's Robin's hand right there. All right.
It's weird when it's like split that far on the screen, because then it's like, if my hand's over here, it's like, it looks weird.
Lizzie B says, I'm usually funny, but cruel when I get to a point.
I
wouldn't say I'm cruel.
Adam can be an asshole. He can be
You're an asshole. How about
be a real asshole because he's funny. He's very funny, but sometimes I want to beat the fuck out of him.
I'm quick-witted and I can say things that will cut deep. I don't know.
Oh man, a Pokeball sounds so good right now too. God damn, I'm hungry.
I think a lot of people are like that too. I think, wow, my phone suggested 29. I typed an exclamation point in phone, it's like 29. Okay, phone. I'm going to do this for you, phone.
The stream that my phone wants me to watch is Overwatch.
That's hilarious.
Overwatch League. Vote. What do I want to do? 31. Rip my age.
Rip your age.
The Snark says Adam has the ability to read. He has the need for speed.
Mr. B says, okay, guys, have fun. See y'all next week. Thank you for joining us.
See you next week.
IMB Trent says, mail him really? Shattered dreams. My phone picked it. Blame my phone. Thanks.
I almost says, no, Adam. No shattered dreams.
That's hilarious. What kind of phone do I have? Samsung. It's not a Note.
You have a Samsung.
It's not a Note, is what I said.
Oh, do you have an S22?
No, it's a 10. It's a 10 Plus.
Oh.
What are they called though?
Do you have
Just
beer
Samsung
in your
10
case?
Plus. Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Put my phone down. I'm still trying to figure out what my question was when you got distracted with I have liquid in my case, which is what do they call the phones that aren't the Notes?
A Galaxy S.
S, that's it. I have an S10. S10 Plus because it's bigger. Fits my hand better.
Look at mine. Mine
Thank
is
you,
like...
actually, Faison says S10.
I have... Oh, shit. I have the BTS one. There's a little BTS logo. It's so cute because look at the thing. It has a heart.
Robin does this thing where she finds something and then she's like, something about getting this is kind of expensive. And I'm like, how expensive? And then we talk about it and I'm like, maybe how about next paycheck, or we discuss it financially like adults. And then she's like, okay, cool. I already got it. It's like, what the fuck, man? Thank you for letting me know. This is so sticky. I got to wash it after this. So right now, Space Chase is in first place.
Ginseng Joe says it is waterproof. So,
cool.
Or no. I'm sorry. Nefcore says Samsungs are waterproof. You have a Galaxy. That's what they're called.
Here's the thing. I never know the difference. I do know the difference. Let me rephrase that. There's waterproof and there's water resistant. And so
Nefcore says not sure about beer proof though.
They'll be like waterproof up to 5 feet. And it's like, okay, that means I can submerge my phone in up to 5 feet of water and it shouldn't have anything go wrong. And I don't believe that one fucking bit with any cell phone, regardless of, and maybe a phone in an OtterBox that's like such a clamshell that nothing can get through it.
I used to have an OtterBox, and I genuinely recommend OtterBox phone cases because that saved my last phone, dude. They are such good cases. It is nuts.
So we're going to go Space Chase. Average time, 1:45. World record holder, 1:23. Locally, we've never raced it.
Ooh, new map.
I recommend OtterBoxes to anyone who would like to have a phone that they could also throw like a fucking brick.
They are not.
Because those things are huge.
Yes, they're huge cases. But if you drop stuff like me, like I dropped my phone
exclamation point play
twice at the post office today.
On the stream.
Highly recommend.
Right now.
But yeah, so I don't know.
Starting out with a funnel. Fucking hate the funnels.
I mean, if Apple came out with like a BTS version, I might go to Apple. I fucking love my BTS phone.
Actually, Faison says waterproofing has a lot of asterisks attached. Well, the waterproof rating of X depth for Y time is brand new out of the box. If you dropped it or just normal pocket loose for a year, that's gone. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I've had this phone for 2.5 years. Like, I could like look at it and think of water and it might get fucking damaged. I'll have to put it in a thing of rice.
I'm Beef Trainer says, I love my OtterBox case. I freaking love OtterBox.
If they made them a bit sleeker, this is my phone case right here. It's tiny because I want it to look like it looks when it's not in a case, which is
That's why
very
I love mine.
sleek, very sharp. When I put it in a case and I'm like, this looks like a phone from the fucking 80s. It really bugs me. All right. We got 16 marbles. Did you get in?
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
I don't think you made it.
Oh, no. Bye, balls.
Well, Robin does not make it in, so that means more opportunity for us to win.
Because I usually win.
She wins frequently. I don't know about usually. So we're going to go ahead and get through this.
Ginseng Joe says, same Adam, I have a transparent case. Me too, because
that's
the only way
we're in the
you'll
hole
see
and it's so dark. Where is it taking us? Space is dark. Holy shit. All right. It looks like IMB Trainer's in first place on one side and the other side actually Faison might be in first place. It's an A for sure. But everyone is really clustered up, so we'll see how this winds up turning out. Some folks are going down there. Hailstorm and TD Funk have fallen off.
Is space dark because there's not a lot of reflective surfaces for the sun to shine off of, at least in our galaxy?
Sure. Jaguarns has fallen off as well. Robin asks questions like this all the time, but they really get deep when she's drunk. So
ASB Bunny says, no kinkles.
I Am Beef Trainer has also fallen off. Nefcore and ASB Bunny have fallen off.
Goodbye.
Where's the jump that's fucking everyone up?
I don't know.
Right, here comes Actually Faison. Stays on the track. 911 Girl misses the track. I'm What's for Dinner on the other side is now there in the lead / second, third place.
Ginseng Joe says, hey, how do they fall if they're in no gravity zones?
Well, there's got to be a star around here, right? Let's look around. Space is 3D. Who knows? They shouldn't fall.
I'm dizzy now. Stop. You know what's funny?
I'm What's for Dinner's in the lead, and they're most likely going to take this
win.
track. Congratulations,
Winning.
I'm What's for Dinner. MQI finishes second, though.
Wow. I feel like the older I get, the more I get motion.
Nauseous, super easy?
Yeah, I get motion sick just driving myself. Normally, it's if I drive, or if I'm in the back seat, I get really nauseous. But now, driving myself, I get slightly nauseous. And I don't know if that's just the older you get, the more your inner ear starts to be like, woo,
It's an inner ear thing for sure. All right. I'm Beef Trainer says, if it means my phone is protected from everything possible, I will totally take my phone looking like a brick from the 80s. I just can't do that, man. Like, I'm a careful person anyway, so I'll be all right.
The one thing I won't do is get the fucking hip clip. I will not do the hip
I'm
clip.
What's for Dinner says they're going to pass, which means congratulations, MQI. You have technically won and will collect the prize. So type in !merch, and you should be able to see the store link. When you go there, click on Robin's Kawaii Corner.
Yes.
And then go ahead and find one of the spooky stickers. And just send us a message. Say, this is the one I want.
Oh my God.
And here's where you can send it.
Steven says it's just the way you drive.
The way she drives also makes me nauseous.
Fuck you.
She's becoming a worse driver the older she gets. I was very impressed when I first met Robin. Because I was like, she's a really good driver. And I was just like, that is pretty awesome. And the more we've been together, I feel like the driving skills have slightly begun to decline, which makes me worry sometimes. So, all right, MQI, congratulations on your first prize collection.
Nefcore is laughing at hip clip. For real, growing up, my dad
start voting again.
Had he had the hip carrier for his phone. You'd stick your phone in the stupid, no hip clip.
They're called holsters, but
whatever holster, whatever ugly thing that is attached to your body. Jaguars says,
they say
first time participating in marbles. I died, not even mad about it.
It's okay. Lots of people die.
Yep, just glad I made the stream.
MQI
Thank you so
says
much.
I didn't die. Again, MQI, you won, dog. Like, it was passed.
Well, you didn't win the race, but it was passed down to you, so you
won the prize.
Yes. So you're just let us know what sticker or coaster you would like. Jaggerns says, pronounced Jaggerns. Ginseng Joe says, time to take flight. I don't know what number I want to pick this time. Let's do, is there a 52 or something? Yeah, there is 52. Boom, bam.
I'm going 45, the number that Jordan wore.
You no, wait, that's not how
52,
you...
like you've never fucking played before. I'm doing Jordan's number when he came back and he wasn't allowed to wear 23.
Jordan? Why wasn't he allowed to wear 23?
Because he was retired.
Oh, why was it retired?
Because he was fucking awesome and he retired for 2 years.
His own number was retired and he couldn't take his own number back?
Yeah, they had to figure out how to unretire it, so.
Today I learned. What the what? MQI says, I'm so excited.
Why the fuck is my Bluetooth off?
Here. I'll type in !merch. So it's an easier way to link to our merch store. Go to Etsy. If you go to the Etsy, the Robin's Kawaii Corner one, then there's all the stickers that are on there and you can choose from there.
MB Trish says, Adam, I am super careful in particular with my phone, but I still have had my phone dive bomb out of my pocket from the top of a ladder for a total of 7-foot drop. Still, my phone was perfect.
I will admit that I've dropped my phone in the toilet before.
She drops her phone every fucking day.
I had my phone in my like shirt pocket, and then I was like leaning over, and my phone fell out of my shirt pocket and just landed in the toilet. It was awful. MQI,
I like the way phones look when they're not in cases. Like, they're sleek, they're sexy. When you put them in cases and they just look like clunky pieces of shit.
So you have to be sleek to be sexy.
The thing that's no, I said they're both not. They're not mutually. Fuck you. My point here, shut up, Robin, is that I really get annoyed when I have a phone, I have it for 2 years, I decide to get a new phone, I take it off its case, I'm like, oh my god, this is in pristine condition, it looks beautiful. But the aesthetic that I've seen of it for the last 2 years has been ugly. I haven't enjoyed having it, like, visually. I've just been like, yeah, it's utilitarian because I'm making sure it doesn't get hurt. And then, like, I've had this phone for 3 years. There's not a scratch on it, and I've had this tiny case that's, like, invisible to make sure that it stays that way. And then I have a screen protector, and that's it. And like, I've had my fucking phone break in an OtterBox before, and something like an OtterBox, and they're just like, oh, we'll just pay to get it fixed. It's like, well, it also looks like shit this whole time, and it apparently wasn't protecting it enough. So I'm just a different breed when it comes to phones. We're going to go with Devil's Chaos 2. It's only got 2 votes. 3 minutes and 38 seconds is the average time. 129 is the record time. Locally, it takes us 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And Meadows holds the record with 2 minutes and 49 seconds.
QI says, I can't hear them while I'm over here. What do I do? What do I know now? You just go to that link that I posted or ! Merch.
They say they can't hear us. So.
Oh shit! Fuck.
Like, why are you explaining?
Someone
this?
Explain in the chat.
I'll just
please.
type it once I can. Come on, go ahead and type an ! Play. We race this one too much. All right.
Ooh. I'm actually in this one. Good luck, everyone. What were we talking about? I've already forgotten. We were talking about something.
You talk about a lot of things. It's hard to keep track.
I know, it is hard to keep track. Shit. Whatever. I don't remember now. Also, someone brought up to us on Instagram that, Kiana, shout out to you. She let us know that one of our designs on Teespring, when she got it, it said fucking text on the back. It's not supposed to say text on the back. It's supposed to say Scaryish. So if you got a shirt that fucking said text on the back, please contact
us. Teespring, not
and
us.
Yeah,
Don't
contact Teespring and they will send you the proper shirt. Oh my lord. She was laughing. She's like, I'll just embroider me on the end of it so it'll say text me. I was just like, no. So please, if you got one of those shirts, please get a replacement.
You've already joined, right? Yeah, you're in.
Yes, I am, sir.
Cool.
Da, Ghost Dunk says bottom text. Ginseng just says, why is this case bottom text?
I don't know what that means.
Wait, what? Tiny Dancer Nation says, my Twitch is being so difficult. It's freezing all the time and somehow is a couple of minutes ahead of YouTube. So I'm smoothly watching the stream on YouTube, but using the chat and Twitch to see where we actually are on the stream.
Yeah, dude, Twitch sucks.
Yeah,
I hate Twitch.
Twitch, honestly, YouTube is always...
YouTube and Facebook. All the other feeds are always fine, but Twitch is always a piece of shit.
But, you know, Twitch does have a lot of viewers all the time.
That's no excuse. The only thing they do is do live streams. YouTube has a lot of viewers all the time.
My hand's so sweaty.
All right, right now, Girl Panic, Nefcore, and Ginseng Joe are competing for first place. Jaguarns is like, nah, I'm good. I resign. Yeah, Twitch is giving a lot of people problems today.
Oh, also...
MQI has fallen off this time. You will not take a double prize, but that's okay. Nefcore is in first place. Go ahead, Robin.
I'm sorry. Also, I posted a picture on our Instagram story of the new pin variants. So if you folks have our white glitter skull that we had, that we released, now there's going to be a pink glitter and a black rainbow glitter pin as well. I'm super excited about those because those are like my favorite color schemes right now. So if you guys want to check that out, that's on there.
We're going to follow first place, which is currently Ginseng Joe, as they go through this pitchfork, and then eventually they're going to make a jump.
Where's Glitch? I feel like I haven't heard too much from Glitch tonight.
I mean, Glitch has talked quite a bit in the chat, so... They're going through the center of the pitchfork. I didn't realize there were multiple ways to go. Kayla Ray has fallen off. It's like that golf track. If you can get in that hole, you're going to get a shortcut. Not quite. Nefcore doesn't make the hole either. We'll back up here and see if anyone does. I tried to do it. I didn't hit the hole. Let's swing around and see how things are going.
I want to do mini golf. We haven't played mini golf in so long.
Since we were in... It was some trip me, you, and I think Liz took, where we're waiting for our flight, and we're just like, let's just fucking go mini golfing. IMB Trainer has fallen off as well. I think it was the trip we took to that house. Ghost Dunk has fallen off as well. Winchester, yeah. Before we left our Airbnb. We went and got food from whatever place that was. Actually, Faison is taking a fucking shortcut.
The Japanese restaurant?
No. We didn't do that after we left. We did that like the first night. I'm talking about after we checked out. We didn't drive actually. We took a stupid fucking Uber. They dropped us off at a place we wanted to get food from, like a burger place. After that, we're like, we have a lot of time to waste before we should go to the airport.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to the miniature golf place. It's so hard to always have to describe things in vivid detail for any memory to trigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we did, and then we wound up going miniature golfing, and it was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was really
Meadows
fun.
is going to keep his
record. It was
record.
very hot.
Actually, Faison had a chance, but the fan blade stopped him, and instead, Tiny Dancer Nation comes and steals first place.
Congratulations, Tiny Dancer Nation.
And is going to take home the W. Congratulations, Tiny Dancer.
Hold me close, young Tiny Dancer.
And Beatrice says, LOL, died again, no surprises. Laura Ann also just fell off. All right. Gonna watch everyone else trickle in. Lots of folks are still way the fuck up here. This track is sort of a nightmare.
It is very long.
Robin is currently lasty, so we'll see if she outruns the blue wave of death.
Oh, it's coming.
It's pretty far back, though. This track is really long.
That's what she said.
Actually, Faison says, man, screw this fan. LOL, I agree. Stupid fans a pain in the ass. ASB Bunny took a shortcut that worked out pretty well.
Dude, the summer is coming and I'm really scared. Today, it was so hot walking to my car. I was so sad.
Robin took a shortcut and she's near the end now. I think everyone else is going to finish out before the blue wave
We
hits.
only have 40 seconds left.
We'll see the blue wave like come through the devil's face, and then we'll know whether or not we're going to make it through.
That's the devil's face?
And you go through a pitchfork as well.
Today I learned.
How do you not notice these things? You're not always drunk when we do this. Curse Wolf says, oh, damn, I'm so late.
But you made it.
Yeah, this is the
end.
longest stream we've had in fucking forever. So it's been a rough one. Tiny Dancer Nation, congratulations. We're sorry your Twitch is being difficult. Twitch is a pain in the nuts.
Yep.
Says, what happened? My YouTube hasn't reached the end yet. You won. So type in exclamation point merch and pick your prize. Exclamation point merch. Go to Robin's Quiet Corner. Pick a coaster or a sticker. Then let us know which one you would like. Fans suck, and I mean like
not fans
in this game,
not fanatics, but fans, like blowing fans.
You blow.
Fuck you.
All right, let's switch over to the regular cameras here. Gonna back out of this again. Tiny Dancer Nation, congratulations! Holy shit, this thing is frozen. Oh my god, just work. Quit. Fuck you, marbles. All right, good stuff. It was a fun show. It took 2.5 hours to get through 4 stories and lots of technical difficulties.
Oh, you should put your arms up like we're doing
lots of fucking assholes in the back
Saiyan
driving
thing.
by. Do you even know the dance?
Oh, no, you can't see my fingers.
So, just checking. We had 2 drinks that were redeemed and a high five just now. The drinks were like hours ago. I did finish my beer, so that definitely got redeemed.
That's a snap.
Oh, my hand hurts so much.
You want another one, bitch?
If I high five her and it makes a noise, she complains. Do you hear how she fucking high fives me? Shit's unbelievable. There you go. 2 more.
2 more?
We just got another one redeemed. They're doing it because we're finishing. You don't have to hit it. You're not that drunk. You don't have to act like you're super fucking hammered and you gotta slap the shit out of my hand. They're saving the other ones for when I'm doing the outro. You guys are evil. You spiked the fucking microphones so hard. IMB Trainer says, sending love to all the spooky fam. Hugs. Another high five. That one was pretty good, actually. Nefcore says, good night, guys. Nefcore, thank you for joining us. I'm going to mark this thing one last time. And then outro begins. So thank you to everyone who wrote a story that we read. You'll probably never listen to it on this show, but either way, we appreciate it. If you think the fucking people who write creepypastas are listening to Scaryish right now?
Maybe.
If you do, that's awesome. Thank you so much for writing it. If you have a creepypasta, like a short fictional story that's horror-oriented that you would like to send us, please email pastatime@scaryish.com or hit us up on any of our social medias. Facebook is facebook.com/scaryish-podcast. Twitter is @scaryish-pod and Instagram is @scaryish-podcast. Or send us a message on Facebook. Go to facebook.com. Oh, god damn it, I already said that. Or you can hit us up through our website, scaryish.com. Go to scaryish.com, click on contact us, fill out that form. It comes directly to us. Be sure to note that it's a pasta time if it's going through anything but the pasta time email. Good stuff. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/Scaryish Podcast. Those are monthly donations. There are tiers that start at $1 a do. At $1 a do, you get ad-free episodes. You can't go wrong. Ad-free. It's great. And there's also...
Ad-free's the place to be, as Robin said the last time.
Did I? I'm
and
fucking...
you're like, that's genius. I should say that
goddamn genius. I'm lyrical wordsmith. No, there's also physical merch tiers. I'm sending out stickers in this next month for everybody that's $10 and above. If you're not into the monthly tier thing, you can also go to ko-fi.com/Scaryish Podcast. Those are one-time donations. All your donations go to helping us upgrade our studio setup, keep us going, keep us making more content, keep us Wait, did I already say motivated? You guys keep us motivated. Thank you so much.
Indeed. So thank you one more time to everyone who listens, everyone who supports us. You mean the world to us. And that's everything we have for this episode of Pastatime. So Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you folks later.
Bye-bye.